All right, I'm ready. So here we go. Welcome back to the Knives Fast channel, guys. It is time for KFLive number 152, and our guest tonight will be Jared from Neves Knives. Don't be dull. We're going to do some sharpening tips and talk and see what everybody's got. So say hello to Ren and Stimpy, Powder Toast Man, Log TV, Choo Choo, Charlie Brown, and Gimli. And let's get started. Actually, it's just Charlie Brown because the second Charlie Brown fell back behind here earlier, and I haven't had time to get him out. So it's just one Charlie Brown. All right, let's see. James Alton's in the house. Hey, James. Homer Feltus. Of course, Tim B is here. Paul Bessemer, Aries EDC, Brian Kerr, Joe Kasperick. Hello, everyone. Crazy Roach, Justin, Ohio. Keith the Knife Freak. All right. John Hedinger. Hello. Let's see. Oh, Father. Hello, Mr. Tim. Hold on just a second. I'm writing myself a note. All right. All right. Where was I? Hey, Michael Morgan. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Hello, Craig. Hello, Fookdoozle. Hello, everybody. Good to see all of you here. Thank you, guys. And Tim brings up a good point. As you can see down, you could see down there, Practice pre-order still open, and Tim put up a link for you guys. There are, last I looked, about 18 of the, we'll show them. There's about 18 of the silver lining available at www.tempestknives.com, and there are about 12 of the blue sky version available on the website. That's it. The black, the dark, Storm Cloud, wow, version is gone. Also, if you go right now, you will notice there are no microbursts up. It's kind of a lie. I do have more, but I need to go through some. I went through a string. I only had like a few up left on the site, and I took a few off, and then the rest sold. There's quite a few back here, but I was going through a string that had a couple of issues, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to put any more up yet. So there will probably be more. I just got to go through them. So if you're specifically looking for a microburst, just be patient, and we will go from there. Freak Show, what is up? Good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for being here. And thanks to all the channel members, Patreon members, those of you who like, who comment, all the things. Thank you all for your support, no matter how you do it. Of course, you guys that monetarily support, you keep the channel going, and I'm appreciating. Speaking of monetary support, David Tooley gave a membership to Kirby Smith. Now, we got to address something here. Kirby, if you've not been a member before, please send me a message at knivesfast@gmail.com and let me know you've not been a member before and you're new and you want some member stickers. Now, I got a problem. I have been very busy and I am a little behind on getting stickers out. And as a matter of fact, I haven't even written a few of them in my pad. So if you've sent me an email recently, be patient. I'll go back and do a search for new member in the next couple of days, and I'll pull those off and get them sent. I apologize. I have been slammed. No, did you like that, Michael? Did everybody see that video? Didn't get enough views, Michael. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy at all. If you guys go over to Stuff KC Does and watch one of my most recent shorts where I play the guitar, it was supposed to go viral, and it got like 400 views. So that's pretty sad. Hey, Christopher, Jim Miller coming in hot. By the way, I forgot to give Mr. Tooley his Daleka salute. There you go, David. Jim gave 5 memberships as well. Hey, Experience. Let's see. We've got Kelly Weaver, Chuck Weaver. It's the Weaver bunch. Joe Kasperek, Paul Bessemer, and John Hedinger. I think you've all been members before, but if you have not, please let me know. knivesfast@gmail.com. And Mr. Miller, I hope you had a good day, sir. There is your Daleka salute. Good to hear. Now, we are going to have a guest coming up here in a few minutes, so I might just forego reading all the pocket checks today, but if you want to start dropping them, I'll try to get to a few, but I probably won't get to all of them because Jared will come in a few minutes, but I'll read as many as I can here, and we'll go from there. doing laundry. That sounds exciting. We got some, what is this? Cinnamon tea tonight. All right. All right. Let's see. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. I'm trying to make sure. Marco, hello. Splitting Slices, hello. Robert Feely, hello. Experience Precision, new member. Thank you. Experience, if you've not ever gotten Knives Fast stickers, send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com, and we'll get you some out. Thank you. Welcome. You guys are keeping Rusty busy. Rusty, are you getting all these? Oh, Rusty might not be here yet. Okay. And well, there's something else, and we'll give you a Daleka salute here in just a minute. Experience. There we go. Mr. JR says he's been a member for 11 months. Appreciate the hard work. Thank you, man. By the way, we are at 16,243 subs. That's up like 260 some from last Monday, so I'll take it. And there you go. There's your Daleka salute for JR and for Experience Precision. Thank you both. All right, I see pocket checks coming up. About an hour north of me, Jim. About an hour or so north of me. Very cool. I hope she's keeping safe and all that good stuff. There's we'll pop a few of these up. If I miss you guys, I'm sorry. Hey, RH Blades and Shade, hello. There's your friend, the O Father. He's got some Olight stuff, Oli Arkfeld, Megurum Pleura, the Open Pro, We Banter, I5T, After Hours, Jack, Junkin' Genius, Hank, very cool. Hey, Kurt, what's up, man? Good to see you. Oh, very cool, very cool. It's right at the right time, Aries, because my table is pretty empty, but I've got some stuff coming, so that's good. It won't be empty for long. Well, it's not empty. I've got 3 knives in right now. The Luft RWB right there. The Devo Mash. What else do I have? I think I have one more. Hey, Jimmy Crow's got a custom bug out. SAK Fieldmaster, SAK SD. Very cool. Hey, 865 Knives. Good to see you, man. All right, again, if I miss your pocket check, apologies in advance. Blue Tempest Jetstream and an Ozark Trail Barlock knife. Hey, nothing wrong with that, Thomas. Thank you for being a channel member. Hey, Nick Travellini, what's up, man? Jim's got a Lander 2 and a Lander and an Aries Rockhopper. Oh, my goodness. I see stuff happening. Hold on. Let's go over here. Let's see. JD gave a membership. And since Rusty's not here, I'm going to have to scroll up and see who that went to. Hold on. All right. JD's membership went to... Wait a minute. I am confused. JD, did you read what it said? It says JD for EDC was gifted a membership by JD for EDC. How do you give a membership to yourself? I am incredibly confused. Wow. And then our friend Bluminati Ninja gifted 5, count them, 5 memberships. You both will get a Daleka salute in a moment. Christopher Wheeling, Nick Travellini, Robert Feely, Jimmy Crow, and 865 Knives. If anybody's new, send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com, and I promise you I will get caught up and get some stickers out to you. I can't even explain to you how life has been just shoving me in the head. So I am very busy. There is your Daleka salute for both of you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very much. All right, we'll keep going because Jared's not here quite yet. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and the memberships and all that stuff. Yes, sir. Tim B, I saw that. Actually carried my Kaiser T1. I won from your channel around. A very cool experience. That's awesome. All right. We already did that. It's okay. I am behind in the chat here, so I'm trying to catch up. There's Will B with his normal grip, Norseman, Hinderer 24, Benchmade Riff, Kaiser Begleiter, Axial Shift, Night Stalker, all kinds of stuff. Very cool. Arkfeld Pro and the Kunwu Chad for Christopher Wheeling. I have no idea how he gifted himself. I don't understand it. I don't understand that. Feldspar and a Slimline Trapper for James. Awesome. James, very good. Oh, yeah, I wanted to, Jim. I just got too much going on. They looked really nice. Yeah, JD, you must have some secret sauce going on. Rusty's here now, everybody. So I'm safe, Rusty. You missed all the memberships that have been happening. Spyderco Dragonfly 2 Lightweight, Wardcliffe and K390, Spidey Chef customized by Scott at Big Boar, Billy Wah Demo, Rough Rider Classic, Chunk, Bolt Pin, and a Rovi Von Aurora A1 for Rusty, another channel member. I'm looking forward to that, Mr. Aries. Thank you, sir. Very cool. Yeah, I like to see folks celebrating somebody else getting a membership. Manix 2 Aluminum and S90V for Mr. Morgan. Welcome, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Hettinger, QSP Knurled Waypoint Drift, Microtech Stitch, and a Sig X Macro. Very cool. Oh, there we go. Tim B's got the Aries Tabico. I'm not sure which it is. Aries Spiro. Victorinox Classic SD and an Olight i3T. Another channel member and great member of the community. And man, all my chat is frozen up over here, so I got to fix that. All righty. Did I get it? Yeah, I think I got it over there. Let's go through a couple more of these, and then it's about time. Matter of fact, I see Jared now. I'll be with you in just a moment, sir. All right. Shed Knives, Fix Blade. That sounds awesome. Knives Are Live, and a Benchmade Bug Out Surefire Pro. Guys, I think I'm starting to get into little fix blades, and I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going down a rabbit hole, and it's not going to be good. Hey, Andrew Hobber, what's going on, man? Again, guys, thank you for the pocket checks. If I didn't get to all of them, I apologize. Alan's carrying his Jetstream until he gets, I think you meant your Fractus, not your Cactus. That's good. That's good. A Cactus Fractus. And 10V Para 2 Northwoods Bear Lake Frosted Wheat Micarta. What the? Wait a minute. Northwoods Bear Lake Frosted Wheat Micarta. Okay. And Victorinox Swiss Pioneer X. And Andrew's got a Shadow and a Blue Lightning Microburst. Thank you for being a member. All right, guys, I'm going to slip ahead here. Whoops, I missed a membership. Hold on. Sharpening, Kyle says. Yes, Ola weirdos. I'm lurking and sharpening. Hope everyone's doing well. FYI, books just opened up. So if you guys need some sharpening, there's two. Well, there's about to be three, but there's two sharpeners in the house. There's Freak Show EDC does really great sharpening, and Kyle Coonley is a sharpener. So check those, whichever one of your flavor out, please. All right, guys, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm sorry if I missed your pocket check. For me today, real quick, I had the Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight in blue, of course. I had the Finch Holiday in Knives Fast blue, of course. Light blue. And then I had, last but not least, the Great Eastern Cutlery English Jack. Look at this thing. Every time I pull this knife out, I'm just like, wow. I carried this today. It is a cutter, and look at that. It is a mirror finished beauty, and that blade is no joke. It is phenomenal. I am so glad I got this in here, and I've got this beautiful slip from our buddy Joe over at Lancelot. I mean, these two, I mean, could you get any better than that? As far as them together. Okay, Jared, we're ready here. All right, let's go over here. Okay, we're going to put up Bluminati's pocket check, but I'm not going to read it all right now. Let's say hello to our friend Jared we've been trying to do this for a while and finally got it together. How you doing, man?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
Doing really good. It's
Shout
work
out to
tried
the
to
chat.
work tried to kick my butt today, but I told it no, that was not happening. So we
Yeah,
got
man, I
away
feel
with
really
it.
bad about that prototype. I talked to them today, and they said, for those of you that don't know, I mailed a prototype out, his prototype, the other day, and it's lost in the mail right now. They said that it should be found and returned back to them. They said it was thrown in the wrong bin because they had to look at their cameras, and when they looked at their cameras, they said it was thrown in the wrong bin. They called the facility they thought it went to. They said it didn't go there, so it most likely went to this other facility. And then usually it takes 24 to 48 hours for them to bring it back. And I tried to tell them, I was like, listen, you don't understand the problem with this. Like, I overnighted it for a reason, and I tried to explain the extremity. And these guys are really awesome. It's this place I deal with. It's a local place.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, they take good care of me. Like, they're so awesome. So I kind of feel bad for them because I know they feel bad for what happened. So
hopefully they'll find it. It'll be all right. I'm actually thinking, I don't know. I'm going to give it till tomorrow and see what you find out. I was thinking of just sending one of the ones I kept back for myself over to Bees so he'd have one, but I keep one of each back. I was just saying there's only 12 of these left on the site, the blue left, and then there's like 18, I think, of the hello KC weave carbon fiber.
There's only 12 left of the blues, huh?
Yeah, well, so I ordered a lot more of the blue, actually. I mean, I did 100 of the blue, and then I split these up into I ended up doing a black wash version. So there's going to be a version that's got a black wash blade, black hardware, black wash handle like this, so like a blackout with weave. And those went pretty quick, but there were only like 50 of them, and there were only 50 of these.
You planned for the blue to sell the most, huh?
I did. Yeah, people seem to like the blue when I do the blue. So I see Scab in the chat. What's up, Scab?
What's up, Scab? Yeah, you know what's surprising to me
is starting all kinds of trouble, man. No, I'm just kidding.
He always is. Jack Wolf Knives, he always does 5 different versions, right?
Right.
Well, to me personally, that gold carbon fiber, the swirly one where it's just like
the dark matter gold.
Yeah, that one, to me, that's like the ugliest one ever. And he's always like, because I asked him the last time when I talked to him on the phone, I said, do those sell good or something? Like, why do you make those? And he's like, yeah, you'd be surprised sometimes those sell out first. I'm like, what? Like, when there's these other badass ones, that's the one.
Yep. So we were talking about that too this time around. I always try to take a stab right when he shows them. Obviously, that crazy resin's going to go quick.
Oh yeah.
But
there's always an outlier.
I actually didn't pick that one. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to wait till it gets here. But I didn't pick that one. I really like the White Storm as well, but I also didn't pick that one. So
I really like that reverse pucks. I'm not saying you picked that one or not, but that's a really nice one.
That might have been it. When I looked at that, I'm just like, because if anybody watched my stream with Ben last month, when he did the reverse tux for the first time with the black back spring, I'm like, that is hot. So when I had a chance, that was pretty much.
Do you know those are DLC, right?
Yes.
So right, which is to me, like, that's just another topper. Like, that's a cherry on top, because all the other coatings out there, it's just like, I have a design I'm working on right now with React. We're waiting for prototypes, and
so that's like this one is DLC on the blade, and
beautiful.
Really,
and DLC, man, that's the way to go. And I talked to React, and I was wanting DLC, but at first they said they couldn't do it. They could only do a PVD. But then they came back and said, no, we can do the DLC. And I was like, oh yeah, like, okay.
So far, the two I work with, Concept and Kubi, only do PVD. So that's what I've done so far.
I heard the machine,
but I would love to get to that point too.
Well, I heard the machines to do DLCs, like a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, now, see, the thing is, we talk about this all the time, and I think you probably even have a better. I talk to Stas about this sometimes. A lot of these companies, when you picture in your mind, and I'm talking to a sales guy, or you picture that it's all right there in one factory. I know for a fact, for example, I'm pretty sure Concept sent the pivot work out to somebody. I don't think they did this in-house. I'm pretty sure from a conversation they had that done.
Mhm.
And when Kubi does blackwash, they send that coating to somebody. So I know those things, and I know Best Tech doesn't even have a factory from what I know. They just different people do stuff for them, and they don't even have their own factory from what
I did
I've
not
heard.
know that part. I did not know
I
that
heard that from Lefty. I don't know.
I have no idea, but I do know that
Did
all
you
of
see
them
this,
are in
Jared?
the
By the way,
same city.
Diesel says howdy
Oh,
to you.
what's going on, brother? Yeah,
Sorry.
I know that they're all in one city, so they're all right there on top of each other.
Correct.
And what's funny about it is they actually grow up knowing that they're going to work in the city, like from a young age. So they actually plan for it, like, you know, like at a young age, that this is the industry they're going to go into, whether it's CNC, knife stuff, because the entire city deals with knives. So obviously, like, even if we had that, right, like say in my neighborhood, if we had a whole bunch of different OEMs, we would use each other for stuff. We'd walk over, you know, and be like, hey man, can I use your this? Or, you know, can you help me out with that? Of course.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because a lot of times talking to them, it can be tough. Like I'm challenging. I paid Friday for 2 more sets of prototypes from Kubi, and I'm challenging them to do something they've never done before.
That's
so
tough.
I said, okay, I want this blade finish. And they go, we've never done that. I said, well, do you think you can do it? And they said,
that. Yeah.
They fired back immediately. We're pretty sure we can do it. And I'm like, I'll take it. Go do it. And because it's, you know, if the prototype comes in and I don't like that finish, I'll just go to a stonewash or something, you know. It's not the end of the world. But if they can pull off what I'm trying to do, it's going to be pretty
look good.
Sweet.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's I don't want to give it away because
no, for sure.
It's going to be
the one I have being done with Riet. It's the milling, the type of milling it is, I'd never seen before either. And I was contemplating, like, I was actually a little bit worried because it's like, you know, you're reaching out to them and you hate to hear them say, no, we can't do it. But they said they could. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Interesting.
But I'm kind of like on the fence of pushing the limits with some of these. Like right now, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. But eventually, I'd like to push the limits on locks and things like that.
Right. I'm
just
trying
to get your foot in the door first.
I'll tell you this, and please understand, somebody in the chat is, and of course I'm setting them up, so they're really going to do it now. But somebody in the chat is going to say, Casey, don't take credit for that. But I got to tell you, when I started, when Lefty and I and a couple others started with Kubi, they would always say, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. And we've been slowly pushing things. And I think you're starting to see it in their knives now. You're starting to see them step up and do different finishes. They're starting to do milling patterns. When I first said I wanted on the Jetstream that I wanted milled lines in it, they were like, what do you mean? And then like right after they started working on mine, they did the Titius with milled lines, and I'm like, yeah. So it doesn't bother me.
It's about who they have on their team,
right?
Because obviously you can have the machinery, but if you don't have somebody that can program them, and so I think sometimes what they do is they'll say no right now, but they're literally working on trying to get somebody in there to do that type of work.
And now they've got the golf putter milling on the Titius, and I'm like, are you kidding? So they're really stepping. They're contouring some of their knives where everything was
for
flat.
Affordable prices too,
right? And they're insetting liners, which they always said no, we just do sandwich liners.
Yeah.
They're doing some stuff, and I said to somebody, I'm not going to put them up there with Riot yet or with Best Tech or anybody, but I'm just saying, watch out for Kubi.
No, I agree. I agree.
It's clear that they're trying to get better.
I would say even, years ago when I first got the first knife I ever got from them was the Kubi Eris, right? And it was a carbon fiber handle with titanium backspacer and clip for $50. And it had some of the snappiest action I had ever felt. And to me, it was like, how is this only $50? I just couldn't fathom, right? So, but because the carbon fiber was so well done too. Like, you know, you can kind of tell good quality carbon fiber for like cheap quality, and this stuff just seemed like it was really good. The finishing work, so like they've always kind of done good work.
I
But
agree.
But
They
yeah,
just didn't know they didn't know some of the stuff, and they're just learning what other things are out there. Because you got to remember, this is what I keep telling people when I have conversations with these people. Like if I talk to Jared here, Jared and I are talking, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's handled 150 different knives or 1,000, you know. But these guys, they don't go home and have cases of knives in their house, and they're not getting other brands. They're just going to the factory. They're looking at what they're looking at, and they might take one or two of those home as a part of their work, but they're not experiencing like you and I, you know, we go to Blade Show and we handle Conigarius and we're like, or whatever. They're not really doing that, you know?
Yeah.
And
I think sometimes they hire somebody that's not saying like in any sort of ill will or anything, but they hire somebody who does buy and have a knife collection just to talk to them. Like it's literally just somebody like say that works their booth or whatever, you know, just somebody like I can name a few people right now that everybody knows, and they can reach out to them and be like, hey, what do you think about that? Do you like that they're doing that? You know, do you think that's going to do well?
Yeah, we've had some conversations. I had a couple of these with Concept recently too, where they said, wait, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, because that's what people are doing. And they're like, really? They're like, okay. So we have a lot of those conversations, and I think it's great. The wave of the community getting more involved. I mean, you got to know with the people that are designing for Kaiser suddenly and all these different, that some of those ideals that we all hold up are finally getting introduced to them. And they're like, wait, what? Why are you doing it this way? You know? And so it's great for the whole price range of what 865 of Kubi knives. I mean, literally you can get, there's a titanium knife called the Titius with 14C steel, and you can get it for under $100 with all 125
is the
discounts.
Like, you know, there's no sale.
So their stuff is just crazy to me.
But yeah, I tell them, you know, to reach out if they ever have any questions, and a lot of them do. Some of them will hear me say something in the video, but it's like lost in translation. So they'll contact me and be like, "Can you draw me a picture?" You know, and I will. I'll draw them a picture.
Well,
like,
it's funny. You remember when you were a kid and you had those little puzzles that were like, it was like and it was a picture of a dog ran down and there was a picture of a road. No joke. When I communicate with some of these folks and I say, I want my jimping to move from here to here, there's a picture of the jimping where it's at. There's a picture of the jimping where I want it. Or if I say I want a chamfer, I want this type of chamfer, there's a picture of that type of chamfer. There's, you know, it looks like one of those things that we used to do when we were a kid, you know.
I'll say one company though, Reat, man, I mean, I haven't dealt with all the companies like a lot of you guys have. I'm just starting to right now, just starting to negotiate with them, aside from like, you know, working with them with the channel and stuff. But as far as like OEM work and knife designs, but Reat, man, they seem like they do a really, really good job, man. They're on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Like even down to like little things, how quickly they can get back to you. And We Knife Co.'s really good too.
Yep, I've got this RWB from Lufton right now.
Oh yeah,
and that's a Reat, and it is.
I think everything he's done so far has been Reat, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so very, very nice one there too. But of course, you know, I can't. I don't know if I think you saw one of these. This is the new Devo mash, and my goodness, that's what I'm saying. Kevin got him to start doing a belt satin. It's a deep hollow belt satin. There's no liner except the lock, and this thing weighs 2.5 ounces, and it's like, wow. Yeah. So yeah. Chat, you want to help 865 out? I'd rather you guys tell him. I mean, I've got so many Kubi knives running through my head, but I mean, the Titius is a good place to start. It's the KU
Kubi Royal, Kubi Titius.
Yeah, the Royal is a great one.
The Kubi Carve. I got actually 3 of them right here.
There you go.
That's another one. The Momentum. If you want a great front flipper,
I forgot about the Momentum.
The Momentum is really, really good. And right now, just so you guys know, everybody, I posted a video yesterday with a discount code for any Kubi that has D2 steel. You can get like 30 something % off. So
I'm
you can
still
get it
waiting for my code. So use his because I don't have my code yet. So go ahead, use his. They said 3 days ago. No, they said 3 or 4 days ago. We're sending you a code, and I still don't have it. So I'm
and
like,
then here's the carve right here. This thing's really cool. It's like a harpooned Tonto, but a really, really good one. Great flipping action.
I haven't
seen all around great work knife.
Cool. Okay.
Jared Riet does not make the Delica. Are you sure about that though? Are you sure about that?
Keith. Yeah, they do not. Look, Jared, I have the best Delica in the land. Mine has a scoliosis.
I can actually tell from that pin construction that is Riet, by the way.
It's a lockback slip joint. Mine does not lock. So it's
double D10.
Double D10, exactly. It's a quadruple D10. Yeah, so we are going to talk sharpening. JD is correct. So here's the deal, guys. So, and I meant to bring it down, but it's upstairs, and you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. So my here's the history of KC and sharpening, okay? Number one, I grew up with a dad that would go to the hardware store and buy the little, you remember the little Chinese that were orange and blue and white whetstones. They came in a box, and it was just a basic spit stone, my dad called it. Where
exactly. On it. That's how I was taught.
And by the time he was done with that stone, the stone looked like this, and his knives all look like that.
I know what you mean.
And so that's how I learned to sharpen, but I literally was never any good at it. Okay. So about 15 years ago, a friend suggested a Lansky system. And if you're familiar with it, they work. Okay. They work, but the stones are so small.
That's the problem. And you have to get the diamonds for them to really work. Like the aluminum oxide stones, they work, but not for modern steels. And the diamonds cut so fast, so much faster, considering it's such a small stone.
I learned that I never got a consistent sharpen on them. I would get, because of the way you're doing it and the width of the stone, you would end up with this and you could look at your blade and see bands. And I'm like, oh, come on. And so they would be sharp, but they would be very inconsistent, And so I used that for a lot of years. And then I got to be honest, Jared. Okay. So when I started the channel and people started sending me stuff, I got lazy. Okay. Because I got cases full of knives. I just, if something's dull,
you need a sharp knife, just grab another one.
Right. Exactly. So when TS Prof reached out to me, and that's what you see here is the TS Prof Pioneer. When they reached out to me, I'm like, absolutely. I would love to check one out. I've now only sharpened about 4 different knives on it. And I thought before I got too deep, it would be great to have Jared on for some tips and tricks and thoughts. Jeremy, I will say, my buddy Freak Show, he helped me set it up. He helped me a lot with angles and figuring things out and how to get started. Too bad we don't live in the same town, or I'd probably be over standing next to him trying to learn.
That's the optimal way if you can.
It is. And he did get it set up and show me some basics. And since then, I picked up a little cheap, angle finder, which is working perfectly for what I'm doing. I put a pretty mean edge on this S90V, the Fractus here.
What stones are you using, by the way?
All right, so I'm right now, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'm using their stones that came with it. So you're going to tell me those stink. I get it, but
I'm only saying that. By the way, I'm only saying that because they wear out so incredibly fast.
Right, and that's fine, and that's just a starting point for me.
Yeah,
and so let's go ahead, I guess, and start wherever you want to start. But we can talk about stones, or we can talk about maybe first, how does somebody trying to get into sharpening, what kind of system is good for them, and what do you recommend? I know you do some freehanding, not going to be for me, but how do you?
I'm actually, what's funny about that is I'm actually testing right now. I'm hoping I can get the video up by tomorrow. I'm testing a fixed angled freehand sharpener.
Interesting.
So it's a freehand sharpener that holds the angle for you. and it works
That's pretty
pretty
good.
well. So there's some issues with it, but there is an upgraded one. I'm going to try to get that one too. But right now I'm testing this one. Now, as far as what sharpener you should get, you should always, it has to be based on your budget. Now, I'm about
100%.
to do another video on my top 5 favorite knife sharpeners.
Oh, very
But
cool.
I'll say for budget wise, if you have $250, you're going to want to go with the Work Sharp Professional system. And the reason why is because you will get everything you need for $250. You won't need anything else to sharpen. Now you can add things like in a month or two, when you want to, because the problem with it, the downside to it, is that you can only use their stones, but they come with every stone you're going to need. So the thing is, though, is that if you want like super mirror polished edges or anything like that, then you have to get different stones that they don't have. But Hapstone has aftermarket stone holders for it. So you can get that, and then you can get any stones you want. So what you do is you spend an extra $30 a month or two later, get that stone holder, and then you can slowly start accumulating stones by a Veneve here and a Tomo over here, and literally just start collecting them over the months. And then after a few months, you'll have everything you need. But when you first start off for $250, you will have the digital angle finder, you'll have the sharpening system, you'll have 5 or 6, I think 6 different diamond plates, a strap, a ceramic plate. So you literally have everything you need. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because when you start going up in price from there, the downside is that they don't come with all those extras. So
gotcha.
the system might be $350, but you're not getting all the stones. You're not getting the digital angle finder.
Right.
You're not getting the little tool. You're not getting any of that. You're just getting the system. You can buy those things in like a bundle, but the price goes up. And a lot of times you want to kind of pick and choose different things. Like you said, you got that digital angle finder. You don't want to buy one from a company like that, because they're going to charge you double, right? You can get all one off
the
Amazon
TS Prof one's like almost $200, and I got this off Amazon for like 30.
Right.
So it works.
Right.
The only thing I will tell you about this particular, this is the Johnson. The when you go to zero it, you have to zero it a couple times. It kind of blinks and gets all
do that.
And so you have to,
they're all kind of finicky like that, because they're very touchy.
Yeah, very touchy.
And then also another thing is sometimes things like other electronics can mess with them if they're too close to it. Sometimes you want to keep them away.
Gotcha.
But the best systems, like if you just want the downright best, it's going to be TS Prof. TS Prof's got the best. They got the best systems of all. They have the most attachments, like what you have right there. You have the Pioneer. Now you can get the KO3 base for that. So for their best system that they make, the base that comes that system, you can get that for that. You can also get the KO3 clamps for that. Like they'll fit like they're so. That's the beautiful thing with TS Prof, and they have so many.
It did come with one clamp, just a real simple clamp, but it.
But for the actual blade though, there's actual
no,
for the blades,
right. Gotcha.
So and it makes it to where, like with that system, that's to me my most recommended from TS Prof on a budget. Like, it's not going to be their best of all, but that is a damn good system right there. And that would be probably, like, if anybody asks, I would just recommend that, because there's no point spending $200-$300.
I've never done edges like I'm doing right now. I mean, again, like you said, eventually I'll have to get better stones and all that stuff. I get it. But at the same point, right now I'm way better off than I've ever been. So real quick, Dr. Drew saying he's been accumulating stones his whole life and he's not looking forward to passing them. Kidney stones. And then Kyle says, I better be in Jared's favorite sharpener video. So there you go. There you go, Kyle. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, the TS Prof, man, they're so well built, and they allow you to get so many different attachments. So, and then the more you use them, obviously, the better and better you're going to get, And
I need to keep doing it. I sharpened like one a day for like 4 days in a row, and then I've kind of laid off it for the last 4 or 5 days. So
stones make a big difference too in the quality of edge you get, and the reason why is because the longer you spend working on an edge, the more frustrated you get, the more impatient you get, the more everything. But say if the same exact thing took you an eighth of the time. Now, by the time you're literally to your last stone before you would have gotten off your first stone from other stones. So it makes it to where it's way more joyful. By the time you're at the end, you're not even fatigued. You're ready to do another knife. And it's beautiful.
Right.
So
that's cool.
Having the
well, I will tell you already, it takes me half the time to sharpen one on here than on the Lansky.
I know that.
Maybe more, maybe more. Less than half. Yeah. That thing, because
the Lansky is 1 by 4 inch by ½ inch. Those are 1 by 6. So that's a big difference. Even just in longevity. Think about how much longer a 1 by 6 is going to last than a ½ inch by 4.
100%. Because that's a much different fraction of the size of your knife than the other one. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little crazy. All right. So Aries is asking, what are the best replacement plates for a TS Pro?
So I would go first and foremost, I would get Hapstone.
Just for size wise. Here you go, guys. That's the size we're dealing with.
So if you go
go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
No problem. If you go to Hapstone, go to their stones. You have to listen to these words because they have a bunch of different kinds. You want the Hapstone CBN starts. That's what they're called, and they're just diamond plates. You can get an extra coarse, a medium, and a fine, ultra fine, whatever. Now those are just regular diamond plates, but those, in my opinion, are the best diamond plates. The second best from there would be Atoma. Atomas you can get off of Amazon. You can get them anywhere. They got a 140 that's super aggressive. That makes light work for big knives and things like that. Any knife actually, but same thing with the Hapstones. Like the Hapstone Start 100, it's a beast. It'll cut so fast, and that's the beautiful thing about them. Now, the best of the best. So those would be my favorite diamond plates. The Hapstone Starts, and then the Atomas. Now, if you want the best of the absolute best, you want to get Veneve Centaurions. There's a double-sided. They're like $35 to $38 a piece, but they're double-sided. So they're 2 stones per stone. You're going to get 3 stones, which will be 6 stones. And with the 6 stones, that will take you from reprofiling all the way up to a mirror polish with just those stones. Now, I like to add the Hapstone Start 100 next to that, just because a regular diamond plate's always going to cut faster than a resin bonded, at a very low grit. So it just makes it to where you can start off with a diamond plate, cut really fast, and then move to the Veneves. But then everything else after that is the Veneves. And if you just want like a one and done set of stones, that'd be the way to go, man. 1 diamond plate that's extra coarse, and then 3 double-sided Veneves. You will never ever need any stones for the rest of your life except for to replace that first diamond plate when it wears out. The Veneves aren't gonna, they might wear out like if you're sharpening 30 knives a day, but they're made to damn near last a lifetime.
Very cool. Yeah, good to know. All right, so Scab, are you still in here? Scab was asking me a question earlier today, so I'm going to give you this question. All right, and I think just like a minute ago, your answer was it depends on your budget.
Yep.
I think your answer is going to be it depends on your use, but we'll give you the. So Scab was asking me. Now I'll tell you what I'm doing. I've been stopping at 600, so I'm not going to 1,000 simply because most of my use is cutting cardboard and breaking zip ties, things like that. And I'm not doing a lot of super fine work. So I don't need a mirror edge, and that's where I'm stopping. But from the expert, what's better? Scab was asking a more sticky edge or a really fine mirror edge.
So the best,
and I think for Scab's uses, it's going to be sticky. But anyway,
it's going to be a tough edge for him. It's going to be about the angle. So there's 2 different.
Oh, well, that's okay. There you go.
That you have to consider. So there's edge angle and then edge finish. Okay. So the edge angle is going to be the most important part of whether or not how sharp it is and how tough it is. Now, if you want to go with a mirror polish and you want it to be sticky and you want to have a lot of bite, you need to do two things. You need to have a low angle on there when you're going to a polish, and number two, do it on a steel that holds the bite up to a mirror polish. Some don't. Now, all in all, just to give you
it wouldn't do you any good to try to do it if you're on some steel that won't even do that. So yeah,
and a wrong angle, right? Like I could use the best steel, and if I do a steep angle, it's that you're going to want to go with a toothy edge. So depending on your angle will depend on the finish you're going to want. But all in all, a 600 to 1,000 grit is the best of both worlds. It's fine enough to where you can do any finer tasks, but it's toothy enough to hold the bite. However, there are some steels that actually hold a better edge with a polish. Not all of them, most of them don't, but there are some that do. And if the angle's right and all that stuff's right, it's going to hold bite just like a toothy edge, like hyper aggressive, because they're good at that. But
yeah, I've been doing 17 degrees. I've been reprofiling at 17 at this point, most of what I've done. So again, I'm learning. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but
it's all right.
All right. Go ahead.
Jared, have you tried the Edge Pro Diamond Matrix stones? So I have. It's been a long time. I have, to be honest, I probably have $15,000-$20,000 in stones, to be honest. I don't even know half the stones I have because when I got the Veneves, I've kind of just put all the other ones to the back, because I sometimes will bust out some natural stones and have some fun, with some chef knives. But if I'm not doing chef knives, I will never pull out a natural stone, a king stone, any sort of whetstone. To me, those are only good for chef knives. If I'm working on high performance knives like we deal with every day, I want diamonds always, never nothing else.
Gotcha.
And it's actually a lifesaver to learn that. I went 2 years trying to sharpen on Arkansas and all kinds of shit. And then I finally got a diamond plate. And I was so mad at myself.
You're like,
it was so easy and so fast and everything went so well. I didn't have to sit there and deal with this mess all over the place and your hands getting like wrinkly, from how wet they get.
Right.
You just put the stone down, start going. And that's another
cool.
thing that'll save somebody learning, because do you want to have to deal with the frustrations of understanding the stones, or would you rather just learn the frustrations of sharpening?
Right.
So with the diamonds,
I definitely don't want to. Right, exactly.
Go.
I like asking. I like asking questions and not. So that is one of my main reasons I'm happy about having this sharpener, but I haven't gone there yet. So my wife wants me to sharpen her kitchen knives, and on the the thing I used to have, now I'm blanking. But anyway, thank you. I never felt comfortable. It's just too small. I never, so on this, tough. I want to get a little bit better. I want to do a few more knives. And then the very first one I have a Hinkle's Santoku is the first one I want to try on, because it's a really good steel, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting until I feel a little more comfortable before I do that. But I definitely want to get to the kitchen knife.
Your Lansky will be good for little knives. So that's the beautiful thing to have that. Now, what you could
actually have two of them.
Do you really?
So yes, I do.
You can get, there's it's a single clamp. It's just like one single white clamp that you can get from TS Prof for your system that works really well for Spydercos and small knives. Spydercos can be a little finicky to clamp because of the tapering spine. You know what I mean? Because they have the hole deployment, which like ramps up, right? And then they also don't have a flat surface to clamp on.
Right.
They're a full flat. So it can be a little frustrating. What will happen?
That is interesting. I haven't done that yet.
They'll shift around. And so what you want to do is you want to, when you clamp, you obviously want to clamp the stones or the clamps very well. But I found that if you put a little bit of like Captain tape on the spine, it will help it not slip as bad. It can't.
There's another odd one with an odd spine, but I just put it in here. I'm not even sharpening this knife. I just put it in there to have something in
But
there
that looks
to
good.
show.
Like you have so
Yeah.
much room to work with
Right.
there. Sometimes
Right.
you don't
So,
have nowhere near that much room to work with.
right. On a Spyderco, you're right. With the full flat, that would be very tough. But yeah, it's crazy. All right. So here's what I don't want to devolve into here. We're gonna talk some about steels, guys. We are, but I want this to be more about sharpening than steels. Maybe we'll have another time where it's all about steels, but we'll go ahead and take Michael's question. And Jared would be the one to know because I love crew wear. I don't have a lot of experience with M4.
So I personally would go crew wear with those two,
Yep.
but I love M4. So don't get it twisted. I love M4. M4 holds an edge like a beast. The thing is it's very, very low on corrosion resistance. Like it's like a
Right.
number 2. So crew wear is actually not too bad. It's like a 5 or a 6. So it's not great, but it's also not bad. So just putting that aside, like that might not be anything you care about. The thing I love about crew wear. So first off, M4 takes a really good medium grit edge. So that's where it's going to do the best is with the medium grit edge. 4V can take a great polished edge, but M4 it's more of a medium grit. Crew wear has an incredible fine edge holding ability. And that's why I love it, because I like those, the hair shaving sharpness of edges. I want my edges to be so dangerously sharp that they're scary. Like that's the way I like it. So I like my edges to hold that. Now, crew wear does really well with holding the fine edge for a long time, while other steels, like say M4, will hold a working edge for a very long time. So that's kind of a little bit different, but some people would pick M4 over crew wear just because it does hold an edge a little bit better, but not much better, but a little bit better. But personally, I love the way crew wear, the toughness.
And this is kind of where I'm at. The crew wear I've experienced just feels like it is the bitiest thing. I mean, literally, I kid you not, Jared. It was funny that it timed out this way. I bought a crew wear Dragonfly, and I go to work the next day, and a bunch of huge packages came in, and the people from accounting that have to tag everything with the inventory stickers.
Yeah.
So I'm breaking, and that's the only knife I had on me at the time that I felt comfortable opening in front of them. You know what I mean? Everything else was huge.
Your machete in your back pocket, though.
Little old ladies with me carrying a big. So I'm using that tiny little Dragonfly. I cut a ton of boxes, and that thing just kept on going. Now it's Spyderco's crew wear, so they know what they're doing, and that's a big deal. But I've not experienced M4, so it's hard. But the 2 or 3 times I've experienced, M4, but the 2 or 3 times I've experienced crew wear, it's been fantastic.
If you ever, anybody who's in the chat, if you get crew wear, try to put a low angle edge on it. I'm telling you will see levels of sharpness you've never experienced before. Because it has the edge stability to maintain that super fine edge that allows it to get that sharp. Because that's the thing that people, some people might not understand about steels, is that the edge stability is the factor of which it gets super sticky or super sharp, or it just gets sharp. Because it just doesn't have the ability to like stretch, it's like kind of like even if you think about sharpening a stick, right? Like how long can you make that apex, right? Without it breaking off.
Right.
That's kind of the idea.
All right, I'm going to take a quick PSA break here. My daughter's here, and she, of course, draws the little bunnies for us every week for the giveaway. Now, you're going to have to explain this because I have no idea what I'm looking at. She's got some friends here, and they talked her into making this with. This is number 81 Killer Bunny done by Ashlyn. It's the Stampede Bunny. So you got to get up because you got to explain what this is because I got zero clue. Go ahead.
There you go.
If anybody in the chat knows what this is, let us know.
So there's a show. It's my favorite show. It's an anime.
Okay.
And I for so long have been like, oh, I'm
this
not
is
gonna.
that Vash guy.
Yeah, it's Vash.
Okay.
Hey, look, you
Look at
remember
that.
his name.
Vash the Stampede. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
So that's why it's called the
He
Stampede.
So it's a
knows.
character
He
from her.
knows.
Which show is that?
Trigun.
Trigon. Okay.
It's from the new version. That's outfit, but there's like a 98 version, and then there's the newer version. But
it's a Killer Bunny. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's my favorite show. It's an anime.
So
but,
whoever gets this, I
yeah.
hope you're an anime fan.
No, see, here's the
This is
requirement.
Jared's high school photo.
No, see, this is what it comes with. This is CC. Ready? So
Okay.
if you get this one, you can't not know what it is. So if you get this one, you have to go watch the show.
Oh. So it comes with it's a homework assignment to go watch the show called Trigun. So you have to go. It's Trigun's awesome. So maybe Josh will win. Okay.
Trigun is amazing.
I don't know what a Trigun is, but I'll just take your word for it.
My big figure came in today. The one that I've been waiting for since
I guarantee
June.
if Ray was here, Everyday City Carry, he would know exactly
he'd be
what this
nerding out right now. He'd be loving this.
All right, so that'll be in the giveaway tonight, and thank you for doing it. Like always, I appreciate you drawing one.
Yep.
Because she's got friends over here. Anna who?
Hey, I might be a
Anna May. She's a friend.
I might be a anime fan.
Yeah, she's got a
Goku.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Goku. Yeah.
There's Goku. All right. Well, thank you again.
Cool art for sure.
Yeah, she does. She does. Anime art is pretty cool stuff because they're able to kind of go into that fantasy place with their outfits and everything else. So yeah, she loves that stuff. So good for who is anime. It's a lady down that's hanging out with the Beverly Hillbillies. I don't know. Hey, Big Hams, what's up, man? Hello, everybody. I haven't said hello to. Let's just hit a couple. Brian, hello, sir. Brian F. Big Hams, Tree Stabbing Troy, Gons. We got 119 people in here, and welcome to every one of you. Appreciate it. Seth Fletcher, hello. All right, so, and I kind of want, guys, we'll keep going here for a while. I don't want to keep Jared too long, but definitely, I want you guys to kind of drive the questions here a little bit. So if you have questions, please go ahead.
I'm here as long as you want, Big Daddy. I'm
okay. Here. All right. So, yeah. So, I appreciate the feedback on the stones. This is something I obviously would not know. Now, here's my next question. Okay. And we'll see if you can let me see if I can get this closer. Probably a little bit. All right. So, as you know, I come from a Lansky, and what I've always wondered, do strokes matter? And Jeremy and I have talked about this something. So am I supposed to be trying to hit this in one swipe across each time, or does it matter? So go ahead.
It matters and it doesn't. So what I'll say is that
let's talk
one thing
about
the goal is you got to think about the end goal, right? So the end goal is for your scratch pattern to run at an angle very consistently from the heel to the tip, right? You can have them running straight up and down, but then you have to make sure they're all straight up and down, because what you don't want is your scratch pattern to be cross-hatched, right? You want them to be consistent, like a saw blade, just like a serrated blade or a saw blade. You don't see serrations where one serration's this way, one's that. You know what I mean? They're all consistent. So it's kind of the same idea. So if you
pick a way and go that way,
right? Well, and if you do mess around in one area, right, and you go straight up and down, just blend it in. Blend it in after. Don't do more than 3 to 5 passes in another direction without covering it up, without basically touching it up or doing the passes. And then in that case, you do want to do from heel to tip full passes. It's just blending it in,
right? I see what you're saying, Ross. That makes sense, but it's just I'm just trying to get that feel, and what it feels like to me is when I'm doing it, I'll do it one way, and then suddenly I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm just trying to get used to how that feels and how it should feel. And so I'm just trying to get used to it. So I'm sure there's other people in the chat
that will
too.
save you right now. Is always, so like when you have your knife clamped, there's I don't have a stone here. I can go grab them, but just picture your stone, the center of the stone. Never let the tip of the knife go past the center of the stone. ever.
Okay.
Never, ever, ever. It's the worst thing
so
you
that
can
you're
do.
not rounding that tip off.
It will absolutely round it, and you won't be able to get it out for like 3 sharpenings.
Oh
And it'll
gosh.
piss you
Yeah,
off.
we don't want that.
Right. So what you do is, I personally, as soon as the tip, like say if this is the tip, as soon as my stone hits the tip, I stop. That's how I do it.
Okay. So you're stopping at the gotcha.
At the tip.
Okay. Hey, Gorilla, that's hilarious, man. Now, you don't want me to do anything left-handed. My kids challenged me playing disc golf the other day to throw a disc left-handed. It was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I cannot throw a disc left-handed.
Somebody asked about the wheels for like a bench grinder. So what I'll say is, like, the Tormex, those are cool as long as they're stones, right? The problem is that with certain seals, you want diamond. That's the only downfall. Once you get over S35VN, S35VN is like the limit, right? That's like the top where you can use any stones you want. Once you get above that, you're going to want diamonds. It's just the carbide volumes in the steels are just, there's too much. So that's the only downfall. But as far as a wheel goes, you could use sandpaper. You can use just about anything to sharpen as long as it's a mid-grade steel or lower.
Right.
I say like the best way is going to be on a stone, but you could use just about anything. You could use a grinder, you can use whatever, sandpaper.
Yeah.
You just don't want to throw sparks.
There's lots of people that still swear by the original work sharps, man. And I'm like, good for you. I'm glad you can do it. I just don't think I can do that, but that's just me. My hands, I've got, just so you know, Jared, the people in the audience, a lot of them know this. I've got a form of rheumatoid arthritis. So my hands, when I'm trying to do fine things like if I were to do freehand sharpening, it's tough. Even just stropping sometimes is not super easy for me.
I have carpal tunnel, so I get it.
Yeah.
There's times literally I have to stop because my hands are like locked up like this.
Right. That's what I look like. Now I switched about 1.5 years ago from a riding lawnmower with a wheel to the one with, I have a 0 turn. So I don't even close my hands. I kind of hook my thumbs and I just push like this. And I'm so much, because I used to get off of that other one after shaking like this. I used to get off and I couldn't open my hands for hours. I'm like, I look like some sort of creature from Mars or something.
Jared,
I sharpened a butter knife at work with a file.
There you go. Go ahead. Stuff, you use a bastard file,
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, it's a super simple steel, though. That's why. Because the whole saying, iron sharpens iron. It's a very outdated saying.
Right.
It only plays its part in the steels that were around when that saying was said. Right. You know what I mean? Now we have steels that are fucking landing on the moon and shit. Like, we got crazy steels. So the times change, right?
Right.
Jared, in freehanding, you keep talking about locking the wrist. To find the angle, do you suggest practicing on really cheap knives? No, depends on your idea of cheap, but what I don't recommend is gas station knives. Some of the most difficult knives that I've ever sharpened have been gas station knives. And there's 2 reasons why. One,
because the steel's garbage, right?
Steel is absolute garbage. And number 2, their grinds are absolute garbage.
Right.
So get like a Civivi, something that's thin behind the edge. That's what you want to sharpen on. The most important thing is that it's thin behind the edge and that it's of an okay steel. 14C, 28N, 10CR, 9CR, even 8CR is fine. Just make sure it's thin. That's the most important part, because the thicker it is, the longer it takes, and it'll become a nightmare for you to learn rather than being able to see, because you want to cut fast, you want to work fast. So yeah, something thin. And finding the angle, you can naturally just find the angle if you just think about it like this. That's 90 degrees, right? If you cut that in half, here, let me
45
fix that for you guys. Let me grab a bigger knife.
Stand by, big knife time.
I'm just trying to find something that'll. Here we go. Something like this. So, 90 degrees right there. If you cut that in half, right? So you have 45. Now, if you cut that in half again, it's 22.5. So right there is a good angle. You can go a little bit lower or a little bit higher from there, and that's a good angle. Now, the biggest thing I'll say when you're trying to match a bevel, don't think about it too hard. Get as close as possible. The point is just stick with whatever you choose. So if I put my edge on the stone and I'm like, I think it's right, and you're double checking it and shit, don't do that. Just get it as close as possible. Say it's about right, and then stick with it. That's the biggest deal. No matter what, you're cutting in a new
your
bevel.
wrist and leave it where it's at. Yeah,
right, because you're cutting in a new bevel anyway. So if it's slightly off, it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be identical. So
you missed it, Scab. You missed it, Scab. I asked him your question. You must have not been here when we asked, but yeah, he we kind of went back and forth on it, man. It kind of depends on what you're doing with the knife, right, Jared? I mean,
well, the steel, what you're doing with the knife, and the geometry, things like that. But all in all, a medium grit edge is going to be the best, for like out of the most things, for EDC related. But there are some
I think for what Scab is doing,
yeah, he wants a toothy edge.
Right. You want a toothy edge. You don't want. I mean, I think although I will say this, Scab does a lot of cutting of phone book paper. So,
well, you know why he wants a toothy edge the most is because he is tough on his knives. Right. If you're tough on your knives, you don't want a super low angle.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't be relatively tough, like there's a balance, but if you're tough on your edges, you don't want a super low angle, and to go with finer grits, you need lower angles. So, if you're the higher the angle you go, the toothier you want it.
So there was a question up above. It was kind of not phrased this way, but I'm going to do a Casey thing. So I'm a psycho. Okay. So you know what knives I've learned on so far? Okay. So here's the steels I've sharpened so far. I just jumped right in. So the first one was okay. The first one was a opinion in 14C. Okay. So that was okay.
Yep.
Then I jumped straight to the Kershaw Bel Air in MagnaCut came in with a very mediocre factory edge. So I'm like, before I send this to Big Red EDC, because he was wanting to review it, I'm gonna put an edge on it. So I went straight to MagnaCut, and then right after that, I went to S90V. So, so the question is, if I'm learning, is there a steel that's kind of a good, like I'm the guy with the training wheels? What's a good steel to learn on?
The best steels to learn on is Nitro V and 14C. And the reason why is because I
got plenty of 14C laying around here.
What's that? Yeah,
I got so much, because the pinion and the microburst are both 14C, so I got lots of it.
Well, 14C and Nitro V, because it's very difficult for companies to mess up. Their heat treats are almost always great because that steel comes from AEBL, which was originally made for razor blades and was made to heat treat on a conveyor belt. So think about how easy it has to be able to heat treat on a damn conveyor belt, right? So now we have companies doing it obviously better than on a conveyor belt. It's very easy for them to get right. So it's a steel you can pretty much guarantee the heat treat's going to be good, and it's just it takes such a good edge. It's such an easy steel to sharpen. So that'd be the easiest.
Very cool.
The hardest is going to be S110B. That's going to be the biggest knife.
Right. And I got to tell you though, okay, so I've sharpened S90 before on my Lansky, and I felt like I was never going to get there. I felt so much better on this, on the S90. It's still, you can tell it's tough, but it was a lot easier to do. And I don't know what to think of MagnaCut yet, because that's the first time I've ever sharpened it. But
it changes. You'll have a different opinion depending on whose company,
on who he treated it. Right.
But just depending on what your stones are, like if you have good low grit stones that are diamonds, you can sharpen any steel. I don't care what steel it is, easily. As easily as you can sharpen 8CR, you can sharpen Maximet, as long as you have a extra coarse diamond, and you move through the grits correctly. The biggest problem people do is they'll start with like a medium grit on a very high wear resistant steel. So then it'll take them a damn hour to reprofile, when it's like, well, yeah, you should have started with 100 grit, not 600.
Gotcha. I see. Who was that? Somebody just asked a question. I lost it. I mean, this is really specific. If you had any opportunity to see Kunwu's LMAX.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to test it. I
Okay.
have. I just sharpened their Vanex the other day, but I haven't tested it, so I can't really speak on it. But I will say this: Kunwu does care about their steels. They're focusing on their steels, and they are trying to do a good job. So just knowing that, I would expect it to be at least okay, because they seem like they're really focusing in on wanting to provide that to the community, which is a beautiful thing because most companies don't.
Yeah, Chance is asking, hey Chance, by the way, does anyone make plates for the workshop? I think you touched on that earlier, but
yes. So what you do? Okay, so they don't, but you can get an aftermarket stone holder from Hapstone. I think they're sold out, but I just talked to them. They said in about 2 weeks they'll have them back in stock. So Hapstone, go to their site. They have the aftermarket stone holder for the Workshop Professional and the Precision. Just make sure you get the 6-inch one, which would be for the Professional. And at that point, you can buy any stones you want.
Right. And Big Hams, he already gave me the lecture on those stones early. I'll definitely have to check them out at some point. Very cool. Keith the Knife Freak says the stainless on the Delica cannot be sharpened.
Well, Riet does a really good job with the heat treatment on them.
Every time it's like stainless. I love it. There you go, Keith. There is your Delica salute. Thank you. Keith, always good for the humor. Very, very cool. Yeah, lots of people grabbing Kubies. That's cool. Hopefully I'll have a code before all of you buy one off of Jared and Big Red. So I've been talking to the lady for 3 nights, and she says, yes, I will work on your code. You will have it in a minute. And then she never says it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've dealt with it so many times.
Come on. Just send the code, would you? So Robert, it has to be the Kubi shopping website. We've learned this. It's not just the Kubi knives site. It's the US version. So I think it's called Kubi Shopping. Jared's got a link, so go over, check it out. Go to his video.
I have the right link now that you're saying that.
And so if you go to the regular Kubi website, it doesn't work.
Okay, I might have had the wrong. Hopefully, I don't have the wrong one.
This is what Big Red.
I just grabbed the regular Kubi one because I recently just became an affiliate.
Well, okay. So Tim B is saying it's the same all around. So I don't know who to believe. I've heard several different things. So
recently Kubi actually, because before they didn't have an affiliate program, they had the Mojave Outdoors that
she said to me last night, we're trying to figure this out. So
they are, and it's just frustrating. Anytime a company first starts affiliate programs, it's tough.
Yep,
you got to work shit out.
Well, the funny thing is Jared, I don't know if you've seen. I'll show it here real quick. I don't know if you've seen my new little fixed blade I designed with them. Probably not yet, but we'll go over there. They've added some new knives. So I have a little fixed blade that I designed. Yeah, that just launched recently. And so here's what's funny. They put it up on their website, and she told me, here's your link. So I'm like, cool. So I put it up and I say, hey, use my link. And for days, people are telling me, I bought one. And I'm not getting anything on the affiliate panel. It didn't work. And so she's like, no, we're not set up for that yet. And I'm like, why did you tell me that was my link? So, but anyway, this is the dust.
I didn't realize that was your design. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen it on the site. Very cool.
Yes.
That's a good little fixed blade. So what was your thought process behind that one?
I wanted a little pocket dropper. So I personally, the first thing I'll do when mine arrive finally is I'll take that tech lock right off. I've bought.
You don't like tech locks, huh? Oh, you're going to put it in the pocket. I got you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll either put it in my pocket or I'll use, whoops, I got to get it out of the bag. You can't see it. So I bought these little soft loops on Amazon, and I'll put, matter of fact, I've got the,
that just wraps around your belt loop or your belt?
Yep, wraps right around your belt. So here you go. So here's the little JL Quaken one that they just did. So it just sits horizontal like that on your belt. And it works like a charm. I mean, So, but because it's so low profile, Jared, and I wear cargo pants, half the time I'm just dropping it in my cargo pocket.
Nice.
And so my whole idea was I like carrying fixed blades, but it is so much easier to carry a folder. I wanted to create something that would give you the sliciness and the nice size blade of a folder, but be small enough. I mean, look how thin it is, how small the handle is. That was the whole purpose.
What's
to get
the blade
something
stock thickness? Do you remember?
It's 3 millimeters, I believe.
Okay.
So
that what is that, 120 or is that 100?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, it's 120. So I asked about going a little bit thinner, and they wanted to hold it about 3 millimeters. So that's fine. It's high enough of a grind. It should be pretty slicey, but we'll see.
You know, have you
my
seen?
guess is go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just
going to say it'll be
line.
0.16, 0.17, something like that.
Yeah,
it's not going to be super like thin.
Have you seen the static line carry?
No.
So all it is you know how like you have like a chain for a neck knife? So you just do that, but you put it through the sheath and you just put it right through your belt loop. So what happens is you can just drop the sheath right in your pocket.
I think I have seen,
it'll stay because it'll hook to your, that chain.
It's a
pretty nifty idea for carrying a fixed blade in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what people are telling me is if you go to, again, we're telling them to use our Kubi code, but I like giving people other options too.
Yeah.
This is the Kubi price, but again, if you use one of those codes, you're going to get it a lot cheaper. But apparently these are available at Knife Global for a little bit cheaper, which is another Kubi site. So I don't know, but it's
Make
hard
sure
to keep
coming
track
from the
of
US
everything.
distributor though.
Gotcha. So, but what I did immediately, as a matter of fact, I can show you the size tech lock.
That sometimes those prices will get you guys. You'll be on a site where it's coming from another country, have to wait 3 weeks.
Right, and the shipping on this website is pretty high too. So that's the other thing. But it comes with this size tech lock. It's the slightly smaller one.
I like that.
Yeah. So if you want to carry it upright, if you want to carry it vertical, this is a great option. There's nothing wrong with it.
Those are my favorite.
You asked the reason I designed it.
So.
Right. You asked the reason I designed it, and my thought process behind it was I just wanted, matter of fact, here you go. Here it is in a hand. So you can see there. It's just a very small.
It's like a paring knife.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Very small. It'll be great for EDC tasks. I love, man, their stonewash is just, especially on 14C. I learned the stonewash on the Jetstreams is great. It's in 154. But for some reason, I like it just a little bit better on the 14C.
Their finish look is getting so good.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Even down to like the edges of the knife, and like the blade and like the edges of the jimping, things like that. Like they're sharp in the right.
And they're finally starting to pick up more handle materials too. Like I've never seen, until these pictures, I've never seen this particular black micarta. It's like a black linen or something like that.
Burlap.
Yeah. Oh, burlap. That's what it is. Exactly. Yeah. And then I did the lanyard hole back here a little different. I just kind of made it part of the tang. It's big. A lot of people have said, why'd you make it so big? And I actually thought about the people that like to sort of wrap it around their hand to give them a little more thickness. So you can pull it up and have it under the handle if you want. You know what I'm saying? So you could have it down below or you could have it up high. That was the whole purpose of doing that.
I think it looks cool.
A few people asked.
I like the way it looks.
It's kind of similar blade shape wise without the hole on the top of the pinion blade. It really is.
I love that blade shape though, man. I love it.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite blade shape right there.
Yeah, I think that useful. You make a comment. I can actually see leaving one of these in the kitchen as a paring knife,
right?
For sure, especially in the Ultim, because it's going to clean. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Ultim, I think if you get that plastic of the Ultim and you leave that in your kitchen, that'll hold. I mean, the two micarta ones, they might get kind of gross in the kitchen, but that Ultim is going to be perfect in the kitchen.
So, is it difficult to get the companies like that you're working with and stuff to use different materials? Like say if you want a specific micarta or something, is that tough?
Right. So let's talk about the two different things here. So when I'm coming in as the designer and I'm making it for Tempest, I have a couple of choices. Number one, I can go with whatever they have, or I can suggest, and sometimes they'll go get something. Kubi was sort of reluctant on that at first, but they're doing way better on that. If I tell them, and if, for example, the weave we've all been using, which is the weave that you see here on the mash, the weave that they've got, they didn't have this at first, and we just said we want the real looking carbon fiber that's weave, and they finally they went out and got it. But you can also, Jared, if you wanted, like let's say Jared just really wanted to make a knife with lava flow fat carbon, you can buy it from Fat Carbon, send it to them, and they will use it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I guess that's what I was asking then. So you could actually get the good quality mic card, like the USA.
And that's exactly, by the way, that's what Ben does with his OEM, Jack Wolf. Ben buys all the material, sends them in the material, and that way he knows he's getting what he wants.
That's
when
so
he
smart.
orders it in, he brings it in, he looks at it, he's like, okay, I like this. Let's go with this. And he'll buy a bulk and he'll have it sent from, so you can send it from the factory to Kubi, to Concept, to whoever it is.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That sounds, just
pretty cool. Now, on the other side of, if I'm like the Dust Devil is my design, but it's their knife. In Kubi's case, I had no say on the steel. I had no say on the handle material. That was all them. Now, I am working on a knife, and I can't go into this. I'm working on a knife with another manufacturer, and they asked me, what finishes do you want? What material? And I went, excuse me? And so, because I was used to talking to Kubi, and so that company took my input on what I wanted, and they're going to do it my way.
That's good.
So it just kind of depends on who you're dealing with. But I think Kubi's same thing. If you go back to the Dust Devil real quick, I'll show you something really cool. So you see, I've had people again ask me, why are your screws so big? Those were supposed to be my pivot. So when I designed it, when I designed it, it was supposed to be these as screws. And so it's their knife. They're like, we don't want to do that. We'll just do these big honking screws. It's okay. And by the way, doing my style of pivot would have driven the price up. So I get it. I know why they did what they did. I don't have a problem with it. It's their choice. It's their thing because it's their knife. But it would have looked, can you imagine? It would have looked really freaking cool with those two little 5-spoke racing wheels on there. It would have looked cool.
Yeah. I love large hardware on knives. Like say when I look at,
I actually think it looks pretty cool, but a lot of people ask me, why'd you do that?
Like any USA company or any company period that uses like T10s, I think that's badass. I love it. T20, like Medford or so, whoever, doesn't matter, using like a T20 pivot, I freaking love it. To me, that's awesome.
Cool. So I don't know if you've seen, let's see, can I get to this? Let me try something real quick. I don't know if I can get to it, but I have another knife coming up. Tempest knives, Instagram. So I have another knife coming up, and I don't know what I was thinking, Jared. It's one of those times where you just say to yourself, man, I want to do, it's kind of weird because I've not even been designing for that long, but I just had this feeling I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens here. So let's see if I can share this. So I designed my next knife is called, that is not it, is called the Downdraft. And I designed, this is a 3D rendering, so pardon the quality. It's not great. But you can see here, I have made the pivot
ginormous.
Half again the normal size, because I wanted to try something a little bit. You see it here?
Yeah.
You can really see. I just wanted to try something a little bit different on that one. So
I love that.
So it was just something. I was like, man, I gotta at least try it because I thought it would look really cool to just have kind of a dominant looking pivot for once. So we'll see how it comes out when the prototypes come in on that one.
Does
one of the ones
Tempest knives come from the Pontiac Tempest?
No,
I always thought it
tell
did
you,
because of the
I wish
carving.
I wish it was a cool story like that. We were having
My
trouble
cousin had one of
finding a
those, so
name.
that's why I know
We were
about
just having trouble finding a name for the company. It was originally it was going to be SD Knives, Spyron. My last name's Spyron Design Knives, SD. And then there is an SD Knives out there, and I'm like, crap.
knives.
So
You don't want to
then
do
I
that.
started right. So then I started going through about 100 different things, and we're sitting on the beach, watching the waves come in. And over in the distance, there's a storm coming up, and my son goes, "Hey, Dad, there's a tempest to blow in." And I went, "That's it."
What did he say?
So,
a tempest?
yeah, there's a tempest blowing in. It's a storm. I mean,
Is that what that means?
it's a whole word term for a storm, right? And so that's why I name everything after. That's why I name everything after weather stuff, because it's like a tempest is a type of storm, right? And so he was just joking around. He said, "Hey, Dad, there's a tempest." It's something you would hear a pirate say.
Right.
And it was like,
is that where he got it from? Was from Pirates of the Caribbean or something?
Correct.
Okay.
That's where he got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so we were just joking around. I'm like, "That's it. It's Tempest Knives."
This whole time I thought it was the Pontiac Tempest.
So that's why all of my models are named after, like he said, he got the last Storm Cloud with the black version. I called it the Storm Cloud. This guy's called the Blue Sky. It's just a nice blue sky kind of day. And then this guy, every cloud has a silver lining, so this one's called the Silver Lining. So just goober stuff. I'm a weather nerd, so it just kind of fit to do something weather nerd-ish, if you will.
No, I think it's cool when you get that passionate about it and you can do that, because we see all these companies literally not even doing names.
Right.
That fucking
5473
Japanese style, something, just some weird word like terminology.
Right.
Give me an actual name.
Right, and that's another Kubi thing. They were naming all their numbers for the longest time, and we all kept trying to ask what the names were, and they were like, "What name? It's the
312
or something." I'm like, "What?"
It's the 312th model.
Right now, the Dust Devil is the 357. So for you pew pew guys out there
you go.
It just says you can have the 357 there. There you go.
It's a boomer vocabulary word.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Urban Woodsman's always got my back. He's taking care of me all the time. You guys are so nice. All right. So what are your other sharpening questions, guys? Or Jared, what have I missed? I mean, what are you're getting into sharpening, you're new. What are some other thoughts of things we might have missed there?
Well, I think you got to figure out what type of sharpening you want to get into. If you want to get into freehand, just get diamond plates, man. Just get diamond plates. And if you're worried about your angle, they make plastic angle finders you can just set on the stone. They're literally a few dollars, like they're super cheap. So you buy some diamond plates and just lay the angle finder right on the stone, and bang, you got your 20-degree angle, 17-degree, whatever. You can buy a whole box for like $12 of every different angle you want.
Right.
And so that's the way I would go about it with freehand. With fixed angle system, the more money you spend, the less frustration. That's all it is. So the least amount of money you spend, you are going to be the most frustrated. That's how it works. So just look at it like that. Like, do you want to be pissed, angry, and breaking shit? Or do you want to go nice and smooth? That's the difference between spending $35, $45 and $300.
Okay.
It'll be a nightmare. And yes, you can get a knife sharp, but it's going to be janky. Things are going to be slipping. Things are going to be moving. The clamp's not going to hold. You're going to cut yourself. Like,
oh gosh,
nightmare shit.
Yeah, we don't want that. So, Big Doug is asking, look at that, bees in the house. What's up, my friend? And Jared's trying to track down that package still, man. We're on it. Man. We're on it, brother. So, just here for the giveaway. We already had the giveaway without you. Just kidding. No, we'll do it in just a few minutes, man. I need a Snickers. Yeah. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Bees. Appreciate you, brother. There is your Delica salute. And then Doug was asking, what's the best angle? So I think that's going to depend, but go for it.
It is. My favorite's 15, but 17 I think is going to be the most universal. So like the thing is it just depends on the thickness, of your edge and then what you're doing. The thicker the edge, the lower you can put an edge angle because you have more stability. The thinner it is, the higher I guess you could say you go, because you're going to want to keep stability because it's so thin already. So it just depends, but 17 degrees is a great angle for 90% of knives.
Gotcha. And there's been a lot of talk about that Work Sharp rolling system. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. Seems a little weird to me.
It's great.
What are your thoughts on it? Oh, really? Okay.
As long as you get the one of the two, the Horrell, which is the best one, or the Work Sharp. The Work Sharp is the best for the money because it's much more affordable. The Horrell's outrageously priced. Like, that's the problem with it. Like, does it work great? Absolutely. Is it awesome? Yeah. But damn it, it is not worth the money. It is so expensive. Like, they're like $400 to get the premium one. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. You're like, I can get a TF Prof for that. Like for their regular one, it's like $200. So it's like, it just doesn't make sense. So for the Work Sharp for like $150, you can get pretty much everything you're going to get from the Horrell from their premium line. So, but yes, it works really well as long as you're only doing chef knives. That's what they're for. Chef knives, kitchen knives, nothing else. You can maybe do some fixed blades, but don't plan on doing any folders.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed what they were showing them on was chef knives. That makes sense.
Yeah, they just your flipper tabs, your thumb studs, everything will get in the way.
Gets in the way. Yep. You don't have enough room. It won't get there because it's rounded. So it won't get all the way back. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. That makes sense. But very cool. So yeah, I mean, I like I said, this is a start of an adventure for me into sharpening, and I'm enjoying it. Actually, it's kind of fun to do something, and you come out with something that will actually cut when some of my knives are getting a little dull, and it's pretty cool for sure. So,
can we talk channel stuff really quick?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Something. So, are you affiliated with Amazon? You have an Amazon affiliate?
I am not.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know. I've just never done it.
You should. You absolutely should, because 90%. Well, two reasons why. One, 90% of everything you could link, like right now, he's linking the White Mountain knives, right? You could be linking Amazon, and Amazon has TS Profs, right? So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, everything you can link.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm bad about that stuff. I don't know what in the world is going on in half of that. I don't have a lot of affiliate stuff. I need to do more of it.
Here's the next thing is that if you have an Amazon affiliate, if somebody just clicks on your link and buys a couch tomorrow, you still make money on it.
Okay.
So
all right.
They don't have to use your link to buy a product. They can use your link just to go look at Amazon, as long as they don't like cancel out of all their shit. Within, I think it's like a 30-day cookie. It's like, I don't know. It's like a week or a 30-day cookie. So basically, as long as they're still logged in, like if I look at mine right now, tampons, bongs, everything you could imagine is being bought just because people, are just on their Amazon thing. So it's a good idea to do.
I've heard you talk about it, Bees. Don't even. You know they have that. I've just never got it. I'll go look at how to do it, because I don't
not a huge percentage, but they also every year they'll do like little deals. Like they'll tell you like, okay, for 30 days we're gonna give you double, So and like
I'm still a tiny little channel compared to you guys, so I just haven't figured out all this stuff. I'm itty bitty tiny. But
what are you at right now?
16,000 something.
Yeah, it's 16,000, dude. I don't even want to tell you how much I was making from Amazon when I had 16,000.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. I guess I need to do it then.
Yeah.
Lute says to hurry up. He's gonna buy a couch right now. All right. I'll set it up right now.
You're missing out on all the couches and tampons.
and bongs, apparently.
Don't worry, guys. He can't see who bought what. He can just see that something was purchased.
That's not good, Tim. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, you gotta have some traffic through it, I guess. The funny thing, I don't even think I have an Amazon account. When I buy stuff, I use my wife's account. It's just so I would have to actually set up my own Amazon account to do that. But
since you have a YouTube channel, it'd be pretty easy. You just literally
Yeah.
fill out from you just go to their affiliate like page or whatever to make an affiliate. And what's it called? It's called the Amazon affiliate program. That's what it is. And just go fill it out within like 48 hours. They'll give it to you. It's really easy.
Nice tip. I've told you, I've probably said this to you 20 times. I just need to pick your brain on some of this stuff.
Yeah,
and I never
sure.
But my biggest problem, Jared, I got to tell you, is I'm one person and the world does not want two of me. But I have a full-time job that's $50-$60 hours a week. And then I've got a freelance TV that I do on the side.
What is
quite
that?
often on the weekends. I've been working in, that's what I do. I'm in television. So I get called by ESPN, by regional sports carriers, Fox Sports, whoever it is. And I go all over and run camera, or mostly camera these days. Cause I'm
you're filming, or
like the live sporting event. I'm one of the camera operators.
Gotcha.
So
that's awesome. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing that for 35 years now. So, yeah, I'm old as crap.
You met anybody cool?
Oh, I mean, over the years, I've met some really cool athletes. And as a matter of fact, my funniest story, and thank God I didn't get sued, but I was brand new to it. And you guys, I'd been doing it for a little while, but you guys ever hear of, she kind of ended up getting in trouble, but there was an athlete by the name of Marion Jones. And Marion Jones was a track runner, and she was dominating everything at the Olympics and everything else. And she ended up actually getting in trouble because she was doping, doing all the blood doping and everything.
Yeah.
But I was at a small Olympic qualifier in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm backing up along the line of all the athletes, and I stepped on her toe, and she flipped out. Just lost her mind. And this was
really
years and years and years ago. And I barely even put any pressure on it, but she lost her mind. But no, I've met Michael Jordan years ago. It's been a long time now, but I worked with a lot of the bigger, like Dick Vitale, Billy Packer, Reese from ESPN. I can't ever remember his last name. That does College Game Day. I've worked with a lot of the talent, from ESPN over the years, and all these different people, and a lot of the more regional ones, that you get, that you guys probably West Durham, all these different guys. I work with a bunch of them.
Urban's asking you a good question.
Okay, what we got, Urban? How many times? Shoot, dude.
Really?
Yeah. So I've never been flat. I have never personally. Now in the chat is Gorilla. Gorilla was holding. You guys know the parabolic mics, the dish microphones.
Okay.
Gorilla was running one of those and got plowed by Robert Griffin III at a Redskins game. So I've never gotten killed like that. But running handheld at a basketball game under the basket.
Yeah.
They come in for a layup. You're done. I mean, you're done. Usually you're in a rolling chair, so you just sort of roll backwards. But one time I was in a non-rolling chair and I got hit by a guy. It was I can't even remember who it was, somebody from Wake Forest. And I got knocked out of my chair and he landed on my knee, and my knee slammed the hardwood floor. Knee was swollen like that for like a week.
Big boys.
I've gotten kind of plowed by football players on the sideline. But I got to tell you, getting old is good, because all the young guys want to do the active handheld camera. And I've ended up getting back out of. I've been getting back out of the way to the camera where you just stand there and move it around, and you're back off the field. So I've been doing that
one
for
the
quite
other
some
day.
time.
I couldn't believe it. This guy, he had to have been like a track star or something, and maybe that's why they hired him to do this. But it was a running race, right?
Right.
The people that are running, there's a guy with a camera running in the grass next to them, keeping up with them with the camera.
I've seen them doing it. Yeah.
How is this? Like, they had to have gotten like you're a runner? Well, we need you.
Okay, I need to wrap up, Trev. Trevor's made popcorn. He's waving it in my face, going, "Dad, wrap up." What's a yeah, I love popcorn. It's like my thing, man.
That's your thing,
So
popcorn?
but the hardest aren't, to be honest with you, the games are easy. Okay. It's the setup. So early on, I wanted to do everything, and I did golf, I did NASCAR, I did friggin' professional beach volleyball. I did all these things. I traveled all over the country doing them. And what you learn
how far do you
is,
travel now? How far do you travel?
I stay regionally
You're-
now.
okay,
I don't.
okay.
I literally stay within 3 states because
Gotcha.
I'm old. I got a family. I don't want. But earlier, I traveled the whole country doing stuff.
Yeah.
I was what's called a technical director for years, which is basically the director calls the shots. The technical director is the one punching the buttons, making, like, if you see a replay and it like flies on the screen, the technical directors make. And I used to. Everybody flew me all over the country doing that stuff. And it just got to the point that I already had enough stress from my day job. And I'm like, if I can just go stand there and point a camera, it's a lot less stressful than having to figure out all this programming and all this stuff you got to do as a TD. So I just stopped doing it. And then they started calling for further away stuff. And I started slowly going, I think I'll just take these ones in my, like, 3 to 4 hours away is about the furthest I go these days. It's just not worth it. I don't make a lot of extra money doing it,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to go traveling. So it's like I used to when I was a TD, I was making more money because it was a more specialized skill. Running camera, it's like, they'll hire somebody in Albuquerque, New Mexico, instead of flying you to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right. It's
do you still enjoy it?
I do. The setup and teardown can often be an absolute, you're
That's
moving
the part
these
you
big,
dread is the setup
big
and
road cases, right?
Yeah.
You're moving big road cases, and you're climbing up and down steps at some of these stadiums and arenas, and
I can imagine.
And it's rough, man. But once you're set up, the game is fun. The atmosphere, the crowd working, the camaraderie of doing it's a lot of fun. But it's not. Everybody always says, "Man, that must be the greatest job ever," and it can be. Now, the bad part is, Jared, I've infected my 3 sons. They all do it. All 3 of my daughter was never. Yeah, my daughter was never interested, but all 3 of my sons do camera for stuff all over the place. So
the same types of things or different camera
same
stuff?
Types of things. Typically, my oldest is what's called a video shader. So if you're watching a game, especially football, this is the one where you'll notice if somebody knows what they're doing or not. So football or soccer, that time of year, the clouds are coming, the sun is coming in and out of the clouds all day long.
Yeah.
So you'll have or the stadium will shade the field halfway. And so like there's this big line across like the 40-yard line at the football game, and they're passing the ball and they're in the sun and the receiver's in the darkness at the other end. Well, there's a guy standing there with these little levers for each camera. And he's usually dealing with 6 or 8 cameras. And if it's more than that, they usually get him a second person to help.
Okay.
But it's usually one guy doing 6 or 7 cameras. And he's literally, if that ball gets thrown and they're zooming into the dark area, he's pumping the levels up on so my oldest does that. And so he ends up doing weird stuff, man. He does dog shows sometimes.
Okay.
He recently did cornhole. He did a cornhole tournament.
No shit.
I mean, I've done everything from bodybuilding to lacrosse to golf and NASCAR. I've done corporate events like medical. I kid you not, years ago at UVA, we did this thing. We did a live surgery, an open heart surgery, where we're running camera on an open heart surgery. I did 2 or 3 of those, actually. I used to do this thing where there were boxing matches overseas, where there were, so what they would do is they would do these boxing matches from Africa, from South America, from all over the place. And they bring them in, and they had the announcers from that country, but we would bring them in over several satellites where we could get the multiple cameras, and we would go up to a Reuters studios in DC, we'd bring all that in satellite wise. We'd have American announcers on a green screen in the studio, and we'd turn it around for DirecTV. All those DirecTV pay-per-views for years. I would go up there, and that's when I was teed in. I would do all these boxing matches from South America or whatever and put them up on DirecTV, and we'd have English speaking announcers in the studio calling the same thing that already had Spanish voice on it or whatever, you know.
Are these your cameras? Do you
No, you show up. I just show up and there's a truck. There's a TV truck, and it's got all the road cases. You pull the road cases out, you pull them inside, you unload them, you build the camera from scratch. Nope. Okay. I mean, I've got what I use for the channel, but it ain't those cameras, Jared. The cameras I work with typically, like for example, if I go over to Liberty University right here and I work on their cameras, you're talking $150,000 for a single big lens camera. Up to 250,000, depending on the size of the lens. The more glass you have, the further it can zoom in, the more expensive the camera is, and the lens and everything. So it's I did UFC years ago. It was called something else, and definitely did WWE a couple times. And man, that is the weirdest. I mean, again, I know a lot of you love WWE, but as a camera guy, because you're behind the scenes, you see some of the behind the scenes. It was crazy. It was the bodybuilding things were far weirder though. I mean, you're talking full on. They're walking around backstage completely naked, slathering on all their stuff, and it's like, what is happening? So it's just like, it's kind of crazy.
Is that why you got into doing this, or did it help influence it?
I mean, not really. As a matter of fact, everybody will tell you, I mean, if you watch my live streams, I'm usually screwing it up, which is weird because StreamYard isn't nearly as easy as me having a big switcher with all the buttons in front of me. StreamYard drives me crazy. But no, I got into it because I just started. I tell people all the time, this was 7 years ago, almost 7.5 years ago. I was looking to buy knives and I couldn't find reviews that I liked. All the reviews were like 30-40 minutes. They were all Kevin. All the reviews were I'm just kidding. They were all 30 to 40 minute reviews. I watched Kevin
20 minutes of him trying to pick a piece of fuzz off the fucking tang of the blade.
Right. Exactly. But no, I mean, think about it. Have you ever watched Nut and Fancy? Nut and Fancy's knife reviews are the most painful thing I've ever seen.
They are. I know what you mean.
You've got to weed through all of his. What is he
can't
talking
stand
about
it anymore. I literally, I've lost my patience for it. There's times I click on somebody's channel, and I hate to be a dick because I did the same thing. Believe me, guys, as much as I talk shit through the fucking camera or through the, the screen to you guys, I did the exact. Kara still makes fun of me because she was trying to get me to stop doing content that way. And I just felt like I had to get every bit of information, all the little details. Takes an hour, but really that's not the way you package something. So now when I watch, like, I'll literally start watching. I'll be like, all right, get on with it. I'll start double tapping. And I'm like, all right, you watch. I'll get off of there and go to somebody else's shit.
But
because it's like, you got to catch.
Yeah, and that's literally why I started. But at the time, I was like, "What am I even doing?" So for like the first 4 years of the channel, I only had whatever knives were in my collection, so it didn't go anywhere. And then finally, when I kind of got wind of the community through Big Red EDC, it was like people were loaning me knives and all that, and that's when it kind of. But no, it had nothing to do with. What is that, Gorilla? I was the pylon camera utility for a few football games. Those cameras are over 25,000 each. Yeah. So they definitely are. And they're all fiber all the way through to it's like the camera they use for your colonoscopy. I mean, it literally is. So, so very, very cool.
What camera are you using now? What do you use here?
So for the live stream, I'm just using a 4K Logitech, But my channel camera is a Canon M50. It's just yeah. So
I got the Rebel SL3 Rebel,
which is really nice. Yeah, this is just the Canon M50 with a Sigma I think it's a Sigma is what I got. Yeah, it's a Sigma lens.
I just got a new lens. It's actually gifted to me. It's brand new, but I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to test it soon. But that's one thing I want to invest in is some lenses. I also want to invest in one or two more.
I do too. I'd
like to get other angles, because right now when you guys see two or three different angles, I've moved my camera. Right. I had to stop everything, reset up, reposition, all the stuff. So like it gets frustrating and you can't leave a camera on one angle when you're trying to explain details, like say with sharpening and stuff like that. You have to switch angles. You have to go from behind you, in front of you, on top, just depending on what you're doing. Sometimes your arm's in the way, so then you got to move the camera. So I would love to get, just
I want to start to I actually want to get to the point I'm using a second camera for the stream. I'd like to I have a acoustic ceiling. I'd like to get a camera mounted straight down.
Yeah.
So instead of me showing you the
really
stuff
cool.
Here, I'm not to that point yet. I just got too much going on in my life to do that right now. I mean, again, back to what I was saying. I mean, I've got the full-time job. I've got that sports stuff. I've got the channel. I've got a knife company. I'm insane. I mean, it's just
you sound kind of like me, because I don't have a bunch of jobs. I only have the YouTube thing, but I do 16 hours a day, like every day.
Yeah,
I don't stop. Like literally from the time I wake up.
Yeah, you can tell with your content too. I'm not doing as much as you, just simply because I just
you're doing all this other stuff. So,
You're
doing just as much, I'm sure, if not more.
If I could ever get all these kids out of my house, I think I'd be able to do some of that. So we'll see.
You gotta start selling their artwork, put them to work.
Or maybe if I start the Amazon thing and everybody starts buying couches, then I'll be good to go.
Yeah, you can just retire.
Why didn't you tell me this 6 years ago?
I was trying to, but yeah, definitely.
All right, Sean wants to know, and then what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to start getting ready for the giveaway here in a minute. But Sean wants to know what's the best diamond emulsion. He can't find gunny juice anymore.
Stroppy stuff is that's my favorite. Is stroppy stuff. And the reason why it's just as good as gunny juice, but it's color coordinated. So you never worry about cross contamination. Because the thing with gunny juice is it's all gray. So if I have 3 strops, one's 1 micron, one's 6, one's 3. I don't know which one's which unless if I write it down with a marker. Well, sometimes, like I'll run out of one, so I'll have to put another one on there. Well, with these, they're color coordinated. So each drop you use, exactly what micron's on there. And it's really good stuff. High quality. It goes on really easy. It spreads really easy. It dries really fast. It's expensive, but when you compare it to gunny juice, the bottles are bigger. So just consider that. It's about the same price as gunny juice. It's a bigger bottle. So interesting.
And Keith the Knife Freak says he needs a pocket knife. He doesn't have one. So do we have any suggestions? You're a nut, Keith.
What is he? A nut. You have a pocket knife, Keith?
He's got plenty of knives. He's a nut. All right. Guys, here's our hashtag. Now, know in advance, you cannot win with the any address except US. That's the way I do my giveaways. So you got to have a US mailing address to win. Okay. And that please don't use 23 accounts or even 2. Just use your main account. But again, no US mailing addresses only. Hashtag sharp, all caps, please. And we'll get around to what the giveaway is here in just a minute. So, and I appreciate all the questions. It helps me a lot. I've said this, guys. Sometimes my brain just freezes up and I have blocks. So it helps having you guys to ask some good questions. No, I'm not shipping to Ethiopia, to your rich uncle in Ethiopia. Stroppy stuff. There you go. Keith's put up a link to Stroppy stuff for you there.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
Bushcraft. Yeah, man. If you take it full time, if you actually do, I don't know if you're just talking shit, but if you treat it like a full time job, it'll treat you like a full. It's just what you get. What you put into it is what you get. That's how it works. If you
I would
put your
love
all into it and you're a go getter, it'll pay off. Sometimes it takes a while, but it'll eventually pay off. You just got to keep at it, keep your foot on the gas. Just like anything,
Yep. All right, Jared. What's your personal favorite steel to sharpen?
The 14C.
Okay.
And because it does, thinner knives are always like the easiest to
Didn't mean to do
sharpen.
that. Where'd you go? There you are.
There you go.
Okay.
Thinner knives are easy to sharpen, and 14C does really good with that. My favorite steel is K390 though. That's my favorite absolute steel. It gets brutally sharp. I guess you could say Crew Air, K390 are my all-time favorites, I guess.
Gotcha. Lots of sharps in the. How are the CBN stones? And then Kyle says CBN, they're like diamonds, but better. They don't load as fast. What do you think, Jared?
CBNs are like diamonds, but better. They don't load as fast. I just look at them as the same. They're both synthetic diamonds. That's all they are. So
okay.
Maybe one loads a little bit more, but diamonds don't really load. So you just dust them off. Resin
grind. The grind is part of your life.
The grind. I'm serious. The cough killed my skydive business. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah,
that sucks, man. I hate that for anybody who that happened to. I know a lot of people, same thing. You know, I know, just across the country, what was it? 60% of all businesses that started the year before failed because of it.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Can you imagine putting your heart, soul, and everything you have into a business, and then that happens, and then you have to go collect bankruptcy?
Right. No, don't. Crazy stuff for sure. Yeah, no, it definitely sucks. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button as well. Somebody said there still weren't nearly as many likes as there are people in here. So let's do it, man. I know some of you are coming and going, so definitely hit that. Yeah, I haven't had but one K390 knife come through, but I was pretty impressed with
man. That is the.
I have to try some more.
It's a steel that's just absolutely incredible in every which way. The only way it's not, I guess, is corrosion resistance, but it does patina really nicely. So it gets like a smoky color. And then somebody said XHP. You know, I've heard that they stopped making it, but yes, CTS XHP, if more industries were using it besides the knife community, they would continue to make it. At least that's what I've heard. That's why they stopped it. But that steel is amazing. I wish more companies could use it, because that's just such an amazing steel.
Lots of I love K390 in the chat. One I've liked a lot is LMAX. I've enjoyed that one quite a bit, but yep, good one.
I'd say it's the one steel that actually, and I'm not saying all the Italian companies, but Giant Mouse actually does pretty good. A lot of their stuff they do soft. LMAX, they seem like
right. Yeah, I've kind of heard that quite a bit.
Yeah. Spyderco's XHP is insane. One of the sharpest edges I've ever put on a knife.
Oh wow.
XHP.
COVID equaled the largest transfer of wealth. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, it did.
That's crazy.
A lot of people got rich, and a lot of people got poor.
Yeah, I think. Have you experienced the steel that Spyderco didn't do well?
Supposedly, well, honestly, right now, the MagnaCut that I've tried, they did really good on. I recently seen an HRC test, and one of them came up as 62.5. The other one was 62.8 from Brian from Transparent Knives. So I would say in that case, they should bump that up a little bit. But the ones that I tested were like 63. So, and that's still pretty close. 62.8. That's basically 63. But I'm not sure how well they're doing their S90 EV. I don't know. They could be doing a good job. I haven't tested it. But yeah, you're right. Most of their steels, almost every single one of their steels, even S30 V.
Yeah.
S30 V it is amazing from Spyderco. Like, it's almost like
here we go. Where's Kevin? It's a super steel. Where's Kevin?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love S30. I don't even
I do too.
I like it more than S35. Especially from Spyderco.
Freak Show, are you listening to this right now? Yeah. Freak Show hates S35. He really does.
S30, there's no reason why S35 even was ever created, because S30 is better in every way. The only thing that I think S35 has on it is a little bit tougher, And what happened was a couple companies like Benchmade, I think they were just burning their edges, and people were saying that it was chippy. SRV was chippy. No, it's not. It's the steel is not inherently chippy. It's just not. So it had to be something that they were doing to it, which was burning the edges.
Gotcha. Who was that? Will B is saying, what about Italian N690? Is it decent?
It is, but the problem is that they charge an arm and a leg for it. They treat it like it's K390.
Gotcha.
Like they literally, there's some that they'll charge $160 for it. When that is a budget steel, don't get it twisted. That's like VG10. That's what it is. It's basically VG10 OS10. So it's a great steel. Don't get me wrong. I love the steel. It just, I wouldn't pay $200 for it. It just doesn't make sense.
I would agree with that, Jeremy.
Unless if it was a custom. If it's a custom, then that makes sense.
So H1, everybody.
My
some people are saying
is really well with S90V. Good to hear. Good to hear. I've sharpened a couple of them, and I had no problems with it. I don't know if I've ever had a problem with any Spydercos. Not in the past 2-3 years, as far as sharpening goes. But I haven't tested it. You know.
Bees has a question. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it is a question.
CBM seems so smooth. Okay, the reason why is because you're using the CBN premiums. You want the CBN starts from Halfstone. So the difference is the premiums are metallic bonded diamonds, basically, or metallic bonded CBNs. So it does not feel like I don't like it, honestly. I personally don't like them. I'm not okay. I can't say I don't like them. I haven't tested them enough. I have them. I have the whole set. They just don't feel normal to me. They feel like they're not doing anything. And regular diamond plates cut fast. So I would say just get the Halfstone starts. That's what you want. If you get those, they cut so fast. I actually like them even more than a Toma at this point, which is crazy because the Tomas were my favorite before.
Right, Jeremy. Yep. So, Jared, I did want to talk to you about a knife I just had in, and I was kind of shocked by this. Have you seen the Best Tech Nixie 3?
I wouldn't even use those bees. Just use something else up until like 1200 and then use those if you want to. That's what I would do. Go ahead.
Have you seen the Best Tech Nixie 3, Jared?
I know I have. I have to. Can you pull it up, or I can pull it up?
Sure. I think I can, but I just sent it off. I had it in here recently.
I know I have. I just got to remember.
Hold on. I'm trying to get.
I can look it up on the side right here. Best Tech.
So the reason I ask is I was just shocked to see it.
Oh yeah. I got one of these.
It's a Todd knife and tool thing, but I don't get why it's just there's no sharpening choil. It's just boop right into the plunge, and I'm like, what is happening?
The thing is, though, this is one thing that they did okay with it.
Okay.
Because when you look at sharpening choils, it's the plunge grind that matters. Now, most people would argue and be like, yeah,
it was a more sharp plunge grind. Right. Exactly.
What you want, like say Spyderco, right? The reason why Spydercos are okay is because they don't have a tapering plunge grind. The plunge grind doesn't start here and end here. It starts here and ends here. It literally just drops straight down. So that's kind of what the Nixie does. That where the plunge grind starts, it drops straight down. It doesn't taper down to the edge. The tapering is what is a nightmare to deal with.
I understand. It's just
so
like,
you can sharpen up to the plunge grind, but yeah, I prefer a sharpening notch too.
Yeah, I do too. I was just like, wow. And that's one thing I had to learn early on. You'll see, I mean, the Pinion doesn't have the greatest sharpening choil, but it's definitely gotten better as time's gone on for me because I understand it a lot more.
They're not, you got to remember, a lot of these companies, they're not knife users, right?
Right.
They're knife companies. They're providing a product and they have designers design knives. And some people, they might love knives and they are knife guys, but that doesn't mean they're knife sharpeners, knife users, and so on and so on. So a lot of people just don't understand, which there's nothing wrong with that. They just, they'll learn eventually if they want to. If not, then, some people don't care. But you'll see some old school designers that still don't do good plunge grinds or choils.
Right.
Like Buck can't do one to save their life.
Right.
Buck
Exactly.
do a good plunge grind to save them. And they've been around for how long? So,
and I think when you get into a company like that, I'll be honest with you. And this is why I like what ZT and Kershaw are starting to do right now, and I hope they keep going down that. It feels like a lot of these older companies, they go, we do things this way, and this is how we're going to do them because that's who we are. We're Kershaw, and we're better than you. You know, Buck, I feel like Buck is like, we're Buck. We've been around for 80 million years, and we're not going to change who we are. Well, good for you, but the world has passed you by.
Yes, and it's going to continue. And the people that buy your products are going to die.
I feel like there's some of that in Benchmade, and you guys, if you watch my Narrows review, you heard that from me. It was a popular opinion with a lot of you, but there's nothing. Look, here's the thing. If I grabbed the Benchmade Narrows and I was just like, wow, then I can say to you, you know what? $520 is a ridiculous price, but there's a lot of wow in this knife.
Yeah,
but there's literally nothing wow about the Narrows. There's zero, but they're like, we're Benchmade and people pay it and we're going to make it how we make it. And it's the arrogance of that. We are who we are and we're not going to change what we do.
Pushing
but you know
that
what?
thin handle through some thick cardboard will be wow.
That would be
painful.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard, and I don't mean to call him out. I feel like a dick, but
I just called.
So I'm called Knife Center is the guy I'm about to call it. The guy from Knife Center. That fucker will do anything to sell a damn knife. I'll tell you what. So he did his 5 favorite knives or whatever of the year.
Right.
And number 1 was the Benchmade Narrows. And he talked about how great of a slicer it is. Well, you could say, yes, the blade geometry is very slicey, 100%.
Oh, it is.
But that doesn't matter if the handle so like if you wrap your hand around a razor blade that's attached to a razor blade, it doesn't matter how sharp it is, right? That's not a handle that's designed for cutting. That's a handle that's designed for very, very light duty cutting. So it can't be an all-star cutter. You can't put it at the top of the list for cutting with that type of handle. It just doesn't make sense, right?
Not unless you're just cutting like tomatoes with it or something. I mean,
everybody called them out. I went down to the chat. I went down to the chat. It didn't go over anybody's head. Everybody called him out. Was like, you're just trying to get us to buy these. Like, boy, you'll really sell a knife. Like they just went after another. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, crazy. It was so clear as day. And that's the bad part. It's like, you know, some of these guys, like they are knife guys, granted, but they're working for a company to sell knives.
100%.
They're not necessarily telling you what's the good one, what's the bad one. You know, like I know I recently started a dealer site, but I've made it overwhelmingly like where I'm never gonna bullshit you about a knife. Like if I put a knife on there and I don't like it, I'll tell you don't buy it. Because I'm trying to only put things on there that I like, but I've had to put things on there that I don't like, and I have called them out. I still have a ZT on there. I tell people don't fucking buy it. We'll eventually give it away because it's too much money. It doesn't make sense. The only reason why we bought it is because we had to. We didn't have a choice. We wanted these other Kershaws. In order to get them, we had to buy the ZTs. So I was like, okay, fine, we'll take it, you know. But I'm not going to tell people that that's a good deal.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to bullshit.
I get it, man.
This knife of the fucking year.
Right.
You know?
So, guys, I'm going to draw here shortly. So if you're not in, go for it. Now, real quick, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. What did I do with it? Oh, over here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it tonight. I'm just going to kind of show you real quick what's in here. Let me go full, not full, but let me get rid of this. All right. So you have a huge bag of swag, and in that is all kinds of stickers and Butter Knives Fast number 141 signed by Trev and our Stampede. Yeah, you're good. Stampede Bunny from Ash is going in there right now. You have a sailboat multi-tool from our friend Tim B. You have, yes, tonight you are also getting a Dolica. We're almost out. We're about to be out of Dolicas, but we're not there yet. Okay. And your knife tonight is actually a fixed blade. So if you don't like fixed blades, I'm sorry. But that's what we're doing tonight. So we have got one that came from our buddy Gorilla. And by the way, when you get this knife, you're going to be like, what the heck is this? I made a little cardboard sheath so that when you get this out, you won't cut yourself. It was just sitting in here without any cardboard. So
I'm gonna throw
this
something in
is
there with
the
you.
Fixed Blade Elementum, guys. Oh, thank you, man. This came from our buddy, man. Blade is dirty because I'm always making a mess over here. But it is the Fixed Blade Elementum from our buddy Gorilla. You get the sheath and the whole shebang, and that is our knife tonight. So
And a 20 CV fat carbon fiber drop bear.
Oh my goodness!
Kaiser.
Look at you.
Hardware's in the pouch, brand new, never cut nothing. Literally, it's still plastic still right here. So the only thing I don't have is
nice
the outer sleeve for the box. I could probably take one from one of my other boxes, but you got everything here. So 20 CB and fat carbon fiber. The drop bear, in my opinion, is one of the best Kaisers made. This is a great example, by the way.
I would agree with that.
So
very cool. Thank you. Yeah,
right?
the Fixed Blade. Yeah, I liked the drop bear. I gave it a great review. I liked it a lot. Yes, the answer is the Fixed Blade Elementum is a hollow grind. That is correct. Yep. So very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jared. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it, man. Absolutely. That's awesome. All right. So how many we got in here? Let's see. Why is that not? There we go. All right. So guys, there are 138 in the chat and 115 entries. You got 30 seconds and we're going to draw again. If you end up not having a count. Yeah. if you don't have a US mailing address, I'll have to redraw for it or whatever. Cause that's where I draw the line. I'm not dealing with it. I'm sorry. I've had things, I have sent things that have gotten confiscated. So
shout out to
it's
Brian.
just the way it is. Yep.
Brian
Lots of great people in here, man.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun. We need to get you on here for sure. What did you say? There's only 11 likes. There better be more than 11.
That's probably just what he sees. He has to refresh probably.
Oh, Brian's here. What's up, Brian? What am I about to win? You got to put the hashtag in there.
20
you got the drop bear and the Fixed Blade Elementum. So
bunch of stuff.
which yep, and a bunch of other, I've got other stuff in there as well. So yep. All right. So let's go ahead and do this draw in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam! 121 entries. That's
good luck, everybody.
In a while. Let's see who are winner. Here it goes. Slowing down. I saw you, Brian. Nick Travellini, what's up, man? Nick's in here every week, so that's cool. Thank you, Nick. Hey, Nick, you know what to do, man. You send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com, and we will get you your Daleka's in there. There is a Daleka in there. Congrats, Nick, man. So send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com, Nick, and I will get this out to you, my friend. Congrats to you.
And
thank you, Jared.
Send me his address.
And just send it to me, and I'll send it to Jared.
The extra Omega Springs, the thicker ones are in the box with it.
Ooh, very cool. Yeah, that drop bear is beautiful. I need to get one to add back to the collection at some point. I've literally not been focusing on my collection all that much lately. I've just been focused on getting stuff in here more than anything. So
I got I don't even want to tell you how many I have.
I don't, I guess
I got one because I had two of them. So
there you go.
I think I had the blue fat carbon fiber and the green one. So I figured just give one away. I need
Ed Harrison. What's up, Ed? I saw you showing off that Devo early today. That's beautiful, man. Very nice. So yeah, congrats, Nick. Thank you very much. So here's the deal, guys. If you like this kind of live stream, let us know. I'd love to have Jared on again and encourage him and let him know you enjoyed it. What's that?
I said vice versa. You come over to mine.
Yes, sir. I would love to be on yours. That'd be great. So and for those that didn't hear earlier, I was only, guys, this first run on the Fractus is small. Concept cut me off, basically, Jared. They only let me do 200 because they had a bunch of other orders come in about the same time. Is that?
Just because of other orders?
Yeah, because so what happened was I asked them what the minimum was, and I told them, okay, let me think about it. Well, they took that as, for some reason, that I only wanted the minimum. but that's not what I was doing. I was trying to decide how many. I came back and I told them, well, I wanted 300, and they were like, no, sorry, we put you aside for 200, and we lined up there's other customers in line.
Damn.
So you can only, so I will do another run because these have been pretty popular, but it'll be a few months down the road before I can do another run.
How long does it take you? How long does it take them from start to finish?
I ordered these about a week and a half ago, and they're telling me I'll have them late May. So you're talking February, March, April. So 3.5 months.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, not bad. 3.5 to 4 months. Again, as I've told everybody, don't hold my feet to that fire. Right. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. But my hope would be that I'd already have another run in line after that. But there's still a few of these pre-order spots available. But when they're gone, literally this run will come in and that will be that. Now, I will tell you, if you're going to be at Blade Show Atlanta, I've held, because they didn't sell quite as quickly as, some people had told me they were going to. I've held 5 of each variety for Blade Show. So I will have 15
table?
Practice. Yeah, I've got a table. As a matter of fact, we're right next to Lefty. So Devo and Tempest are side by side.
Nice. You can sabotage the table. Wild. I see. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. He'll try to sabotage.
Yeah, fart bombs, right?
But I've got Freak Show, and he's bigger. So Freak Show helps me out. So Freak Show, by the way, it sounds like Trevor's coming to help. My son Trevor. So
how much does the table cost there? Just out of curiosity.
So shoot, you would have to ask me right now. I think my total cost last year, including internet, was like $800, like right about $800.
I think internet there.
Yeah, you have to pay for internet. So it's really for because if you've ever walked around with your phone, you don't get any internet. So they're
somewhere.
Yeah, they're screwing you for sure. The storm cloud's gone, and there's 12 blue skies left and 18 silver linings left. So thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Oh, it's 11 blue sky left. Thank you, Tim, for the update there. Appreciate it. So if you're interesting, Blade Show. Trevor's a fun dude. He really is. My youngest son is a complete nut. And when what sealed the deal, Jeremy, when I told him I'd pay him a little something, he's like, yeah, I'll come. I'm like, okay,
I'll be there.
All right. He's my paid employee for the weekend. So he's actually, he almost screwed himself because I was literally mouthing, I'm going to pay you something, as he's mouthing, just buy me a really nice dinner every night. And I'm like, I'll take it. And he's like, no, I heard you now. It's too late. So
well, congratulations on all the success with the company and everything, man.
Thanks, man. Great. It's awesome. I'm learning a lot. I really am learning a lot, and I feel like give it 2 years and it might be even better. We'll see.
No, it will.
My biggest thing, Jared, is I'm trying to figure out where to live. I guess you noticed I've done a lot of budgety stuff, and then I had the Jetstream in kind of that mid-range, and now I've got the Fractus, which is still only $200 for S90 and titanium. So I'm just trying to decide, do I keep going back and forth? Do I live in a certain range? I don't know. So we'll just see how it goes. Now, just you were asking about Inside Baseball. The biggest challenge of doing the budget knives is you got to order 600 of them,
really?
So when the pinion and the Jetstream, and the pinion and the microburst, I had to order 600 of them, and I'm just now about to sell out of microburst.
Is that the minimum or something?
That's your order minimum. And then for the Jetstream in that mid price range, I had to order 400.
Okay.
And then I only had to order 200 of the Fractus. So, I actually wish I had ordered more, but whatever. I couldn't anymore. But we'll do another run for sure and go from there. But it's a learning experience, to say the least. And I think my next one after the Fractus is more than likely going to be around $100 somewhere in there. But we'll see. When the prototypes get here, then I will decide which one I'm doing next. So
John's asking a question. I think he's talking
okay,
about
go for it.
stroppy stuff. I'm not positive, but I seen him ask. He's asking something about the stropping compound that I
Yep.
was recommending. Stroppy stuff. Their leather, some of the best leather I've tried too, but it's expensive, so you don't have to get their leather. Their compounds are good enough. But if you wanted to, they have really good quality leather, like super thick, very well done. I actually I got some stuff coming right now from them.
Very cool. I'm not familiar with them. I've got a really cheesy strap, so I really do need to get something better at some point. But it works. I mean, it works. It's a leather strap with diamond compound on it, but that's about it.
That's the most important part is the compound.
Yep.
You know, obviously a quality leather is always better than a shitty leather, but as long as you can get a mid-grade leather, you're at least doing okay if you have a great compound. But the compounds,
my
they're
buddy,
not all built the same. They are very.
My buddy Freak Show doesn't like my pricing. He thinks I need to raise them. So I'm weird. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to keep knives going, but in this case, I probably should have priced this one a little bit higher. But I just was trying, especially with some things I learned after the fact. The left-handed clip is costing me. I'm not charging you guys. I'm losing some money having to do the left-handed clip. And things like that. I'm buying extra hardware, so I'm not making a ton off of the practice, but it's a learning experience, Jeremy. And I want to sell stuff, man. I don't want to put it up at a price where people go, oh gosh, I'm not going to pay that for it. So I know I'm too cautious, but it's all about trying to be cautious. And
well, you know how you were saying the 2-year plan. I think anything you go into, whether it's going into a channel, whether it's going into a company, I think that's what you should be looking at. Is don't even look at like the tomorrow or the next week. Look at the 2-year plan and then knock out the goals that'll get you to that 2-year plan, whatever that's right. That is. That way you're not like looking at it like, man, I'm not making it. Well, you're 2 months in. Of course you're not making it. Right. You know, but
I'm not like Kevin. I'm not going to produce a knife every 3 weeks. Okay. I have a full-time job and I got a lot going on in my life. So it's going to be 2 to 4 a year. That's what you're going to see from Tempest.
Still a good amount.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm good with it. And by the way, Kevin just said something. Okay. Look at what Kevin said. He said, thank you. It's his first premium. So it might well be that people that have never had a real premium knife with an inlay are suddenly going to have one because they can afford a 200 when they couldn't jump up. If I made this 250 or 300, they might not have been able to jump up and get it. So the thing is, I'm putting it in the hands of people that might not have been able to do it, if that makes any sense.
Space Ghost Vaseline. Put Vaseline on it. He says, what do you do when compound dries on the leather? Feels like hard sandpaper. Put Vaseline on it. It'll soften it up and it will also make your compound spread back out. Another thing is you could also sand it all off and just refresh the leather and start from new again. But either way, if you sand it off, still put some Vaseline on the leather, let it soak in there. It'll make it more supple. And it also helps you spread compound. Like, especially if you have like the crayon stuff, the stuff that comes in a block. If you have that stuff, you just put a little Vaseline and then use that and it'll spread all over really easily.
All right. So what are we saying, guys? I see several people saying something. So what are we saying? Nick's not here?
Oh, Nick jumped out before he won. Yeah, because I haven't even seen. I've been waiting to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I was busy talking to you, and I wasn't.
I was looking, waiting for him to pop up.
Well, unfortunately, we all know what my policy's been. What I've always said: you got to be here to win. So I hate to do that. Nick, are you here? Before I take everybody's word for it and draw again, I better find out, guys.
What was
Tim
Nick
B? Help me out here. Travellini.
Nick Travellini, are you in the house? Nick Travellini. How much were Max A's Black Mirrors? $143. 142, 143
you got
bucks.
Quite the memory, man. I can't remember. Gosh, I hate to do that.
Such a good deal. Not a problem.
But I've kind of always said to folks that I would draw again if they weren't here. I hate because I don't like to do it because if they don't see the instructions and they won't email me for several days or whatever.
Oh yeah. No, I've done this so many times where I've had to
I just hate it.
I'm literally sitting there right now and they were Patreons.
Yep. All right. Hold on just a second. Let me see.
I'm surprised sometimes, like when somebody doesn't collect. Sometimes I think it's because like they support and they don't really care to win. So they don't
Yeah, I get
overlook.
it. And I didn't say it tonight, but I always say, dang, he's not. So are we still not seeing him, guys? All right. Well, I was about to wrap this up and get off here, but let's do this one more time. I hate to do it, but we're gonna have to, because that's just been what I've said. Plus, there's popcorn waiting for me upstairs. Jeez.
Yeah, we can hurry it up. I'm sure you can pull
Yeah,
this thing
no,
up
I'm
pretty
kidding.
quickly,
All
right?
right, guys, like 2 minutes, okay?
Redo.
So your
Great word.
hashtag redo. All right, Nick. If you watch this after the fact, Nick, I'm sorry, dude. It's been my policy that if you're not here and you can't hear the instructions to win, that you can't win. So if you're watching this after the fact, Nick, I'm sorry, dude. And Pete, you saw all the people holding my feet to the fire in the chat. So I can't not do that. So we're gonna redraw, man. I'm sorry. I didn't give those instructions, but that's been my long running instructions.
This is a really cool thing that they allow us to do on StreamYard now. The giveaway thing. I'm so happy they started doing this.
Yeah. Oh, it's way better than the numbers for me. Again, JB still loves Big Red loves the numbers, but for me, this is I got so confused.
Oh my
if you haven't
goodness.
noticed,
And people will comment and say that you're wrong because it shows up on their screen different.
So Derek, I do both. Okay. I'm doing some collabs too. So if you didn't see earlier, I'm doing a collab with Kubi called the Dust Devil Fixed Blade. And I have a couple of, I almost blew that, a couple of more I'm working on with some other companies. So I am doing that, but I want to do both. If that makes sense.
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing collabs and designs and OEM. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. Man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, check out the Dust Devil. I can't wait till it gets here, man. I'm freaking pumped to get one in my hand. But
it looks really cool. I like that. I like those types of fixed blades, period.
Me too.
They're just so damn useful.
And again, I think I will probably, now that I thought of it, I'll probably take the Ultim one and put it in the kitchen. Here, Scarlett, this one will work well. All right, guys, like 20 seconds. If you haven't done it yet, hashtag redo. So there's 104 in here, which means a lot of people left. So you got even better chances.
Yeah.
70 entries. So if you haven't done it, do it now. About 15 seconds, and I'm going to draw.
Watch
there, Tim's putting up the
like 200-300 now.
Yeah.
Everybody jumps on their other device.
All right, 10 seconds, guys. And again, please, you got to be here so you can hear the instructions and tell me you're here, okay? All right.
Claim it.
5. Whoops, go ahead, Jared.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam. 73 entries. And we're doing a second draw. I'm sorry.
Good luck, everybody.
Man, but we're doing it.
Good luck.
Dan B 007. All right, Dan, are you here? Please tell us you're here. I just got busy talking to Jared and forgot to ask, so I'm glad you guys held my feet to the fire there. Let me know you're here, Dan B. Where you at? Dan B, what you need to do. Well, you didn't win Bushcraft Rebooted, so it doesn't matter if you're here.
Reporting anybody who wins so they get blocked or something.
All right, Dan, please tell me you're here.
Come on, Dan. Where you at, Dan?
Where is he? Somebody said he's here, but I sure didn't see him.
I don't see him either.
Dan, where you at?
He's saying he's here.
Say hi. Oh, they said he replied. Okay. All right, Dan. I don't know, but if he's listening, you just need to email me.
Okay.
knivesfast@gmail.com. And Nick, again, if you watch this after the fact, them's the rules, man. You got to be here. So I will send Jared your info, and he will send you the drop bear.
Yep. You got it. Congratulations.
Man, I literally appreciate you being on here.
Thank you for having me.
You're fun to have on, and I don't. Like I said, I know so little about sharpening. It's good to have somebody on that that does. And like I said, Freak Show has been my if I get stuck, I'm like, hey, Jeremy, help.
Well, if you ever get some free time, jump over to my live. I'd love to have you on.
Yes, sir. Will do for sure. So thanks again, guys. We're wrapping. Have a good evening. Take it easy, and thanks for watching the Knives Fast channel. See ya. Bye, Jared.